Hi everybody, it's the Gangster Ghost Show. How are you today? We're watching stuff until someone comes on.
Oh, just imagine you're related to a strawberry. Oh, just imagine. I can't imagine. How can they believe something like that? Look at this. The humans are related to the frogs and the sunflower. They got them all in there. Now, their second pipe dream is the ultimate pipe dream is this geologic column. It doesn't exist anywhere in the world. There is no geologic column, guys. This shirt somebody sent me, Jurassic Park. I got it somewhere around here. Here we go. There's no such thing as a Jurassic age. None. It doesn't exist. Help support our ministry for free if you want. Go to 777 Club on drdino.com. You can call Sandra back there, 855-BIG-DINO, extension 1, or email her secretary at drdino.com, DRDINO. I forgot the dot. There's a dot. Imagine a dot in there. Just imagine. You atheists are good at imagining. Okay. Let's see. Verify it's going to the right place. I did forget the dot. Let's see. There we go. I remembered it on that one. See, look at that. See that dot in there? Yeah. There. You evolutionists? Just imagine there's a dot on the other one. Okay. I got the easiest job in the world making fun of evolution. God, I love it. Okay. Help support our ministry for free if you want. Help support our ministry for free. The crust of the earth used to have water under the crust. That split, the crust split, and the fountains of the deep broke open, and that's where most of the flood water came from for Noah's flood. So, how does that? I don't think it affected the solar system much, unless the fountains of the deep were under such pressure from 10 miles of rock on top that it launched some of the rocks on the edge up into space, and they might have formed craters on the moon. Moon got hit like a shotgun. That's just a theory. I wouldn't claim that I could prove that. But it's interesting, the craters on the near side of the moon are much bigger than the craters on the far side, indicating some of the stuff must have shot past and got pulled back in by moon's gravity, which is a lot weaker than ours, and made littler craters. So I believe it's a reasonable explanation that Noah's flood might have shot stuff up into space and caused some of the debris still floating around. And as we travel around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, we smack into it like bugs on a windshield, and we're still getting hit all the time. Probably from stuff that launched off the earth. Just a wild theory. The crust of the earth used to have water under the crust. That split, the crust split, and the fountains of the deep.
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Ooh, this is interesting. I recently did a video giving a rundown on what Mormons believe and how their beliefs differ from Christianity in some major ways. But there is one thing I left out of that video because there wasn't enough room to talk about it, but I think I have to mention it. And this is really interesting. In my last video, I talked about how Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism, in translation of the Bible, where he added himself into it. But there was another book that he produced, and that was called the Book of Abraham. This book is part of the Pearl of Great Price, and Mormons consider it to be scripture. Now, the Book of Abraham came about because in the 1830s, Joseph Smith got his hands on some Egyptian papyri scrolls, thinking he could translate it. Joseph Smith said that the papyri described Abraham's early life and his travels to Canaan and Egypt. And so he translated it, and even put a few handwritten extracts of those papyrus scrolls in it, and he called it the Book of Abraham. Problem was, Joseph Smith did not understand Egyptian hieroglyphs. In fact, no one in America at that time did, because the Rosetta Stone had only recently been discovered, and work had only just started on figuring out what the Egyptian alphabet was from it. Now, basically, the Rosetta Stone contained the exact same message in both Greek and Egyptian. Egyptologists could figure out how to read Egyptian. And so when Joseph Smith said he translated those Egyptian papyri, no one in America could fact check him at that time. But now we can. After Joseph Smith died, his family actually sold the papyri, and it was thought that the papyri was lost in a fire in Chicago. But thankfully, they were discovered again in a museum in New York City. The Latter-day Saint Church took possession of those papyri back in 1967 and confirmed that they were in fact what Joseph Smith used to translate the Book of Abraham. Now this is huge. This means we can see if Joseph Smith really did accurately translate the book or not. And so Egyptologists have examined, and what did they discover? It's got nothing to do with Abraham. It's not even from that time period of 4,000 years ago when Abraham lived, but it was only from about 2,000 years ago. It's from Egyptian funerary texts, the Book of Breathings and the Book of the Dead. The LDS Church itself admits, from their official website, scholars have identified the papyrus fragments as part of standard funerary texts that were deposited with mummified bodies. Not an account about Abraham. This is from the official Latter-day Saint website. Quote, none of the characters on the papyrus fragments mentioned Abraham's name or any of the events recorded in the Book of Abraham. Latter-day Saint and non-Latter-day Saint Egyptologists agree that the characters on the fragments do not match the translation given in the Book of Abraham. Because Egyptologists have recognized that the papyrus is not a record about Abraham's life, but it's actually an introduction of the dead person to the deity Osiris. Now that is damning evidence against Joseph Smith and the leadership of the Latter-day Saint Church, which still accepts this wrongly translated book as scripture. This is serious. And not only that, in the Book of Abraham that Joseph Smith made up, in chapter 4 verse 1 it says, quote, and they went down at the beginning, and they, that is the gods, organized and formed the heavens and the earth. Notice that? Gods, plural, not God. This is clearly not scripture. The Bible says God created the heavens and the earth. The Book of Abraham says gods created the heavens and the earth. This is not the word of God. Now, a word for those who are Mormon. You can verify everything I've mentioned in this video, and just know you are victims in this. Joseph Smith and the LDS Church leadership have been lying to you, and so it's time to no longer trust in what they have said. And for those who are not Mormon, remember to love your Mormon friends and share this truth with them to bring them out of the LDS Church. And it also shows the importance of holding the Bible as the ultimate standard so that you don't get tossed to and fro by every new idea that comes along from someone who's a prophet of God. So pass this video on and make sure you check my other video out about the rundown on other Mormon myths.
Imagine this. You've been framed and sent to prison with the most violent
Who believe in 3 levels of heaven on what they believe from their official sources, and also watch to the end because I'm going to then give you 4 specific things that Mormons are told they must do. That may surprise you. Now, Mormonism started in the early 1800s. These days, they like to call themselves the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or LDS for short. They currently have about 16 million members. It all started is with a man named Joseph Smith. He claimed to be a prophet, and in the 1820s, he supposedly found golden plates, which he then said he translated from a language called Reformed Egyptian, a language that doesn't actually exist. From those plates, he said that he produced the Book of Mormon. But the plates are nowhere to be found today. The Book of Mormon talks about how Jesus supposedly visited America after heaven, and they call this book another testament of Jesus Christ. Adding anything onto the Bible is a big danger sign, isn't it? They also have two other books, one called Doctrine and Covenants, and the other, The Pearl of Great Price, both which they consider to be scripture. Now, Joseph Smith was a supporter and practicer of polygamy, that is, having multiple wives. He actually had 40 wives himself, including 11 of whom which were still already married to someone else. Joseph Smith also made his own translation of the Bible, where he added himself into the Bible in Genesis chapter 50. You can check this for yourself. Open up any Bible, go to Genesis 50, and you'll see that there are only 26 verses there. But in the Joseph translation, there are 38 verses in that chapter, and in the extra verses, it describes that God will raise up a seer, that is a prophet, and his name will be Joseph. Convenient. He literally just added himself into his own translation of the Bible. Now, the LDS Church admits that his translation wasn't from the Hebrew at all. While working on his translation of the Bible, Joseph Smith did not employ Hebrew and Greek sources, lexicons, or a knowledge of biblical languages to render a new English text. Rather, he used a copy of the King James Bible as the starting point for his translation, dictating inspired changes and additions to scribes. That's not how a faithful translation comes about, and no one should be adding anything into the Bible. Mormonism teaches that there are multiple gods for different planets. They think that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are three separate beings, rather than being the one God as three distinct persons, as Christians have always believed. The idea of multiple gods is rejected by the Bible. In Isaiah 45:5, it says, "I am the Lord, and there is no other. Besides me, there is no God." But in the LDS Book of Abraham, which is within the Pearl of Great Price, it says, quote, "Gods organized and formed the heavens and the earth." That's directly opposite. How can they claim to believe the Bible as well as all their extra books if those extra books contradict the Bible so clearly? Mormons also believe not just in a heavenly Father, but also in a heavenly Mother, which they think procreated together to produce us as their offspring. That's not what the Bible says. God did not procreate with them, neither is their heavenly Mother. They also believe that you can become a god yourself through a process which they call exaltation. Basically, if you perform all the steps necessary, including married eternally in the Mormon temple, so you can be married in the afterlife, then you can become a god yourself and, quote, possess everything that our Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ have. All power, glory, dominion, and knowledge. Whoa, isn't that the very thing that Satan tempted Eve with? Eat the fruit and you can be like God. You cannot become God, friends. Also, it contradicts Jesus' clear statement that there is no marriage in heaven because we are like the angels, and the angels are not married. They also believe in 3 levels of heaven, depending on what you do. But only the top level, called the celestial kingdom, is the one where you really get to be with God. However, the word heaven means the dwelling place of God. And so how could the other levels of heaven really be heaven if you're not actually with God? And Mormons will say that by grace, but it's actually a works-based religion, because if in order to reach that celestial kingdom you have to do a whole lot of good works, then that's not grace at all. The Apostle Paul said, "But if it is by grace, it is no longer on the basis of works, otherwise grace would no longer be grace." Here are things that Mormons are told to do. 1. They are not allowed to drink coffee or tea. They have to wear special Mormon underwear at all times to remind themselves of the covenants.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Marky
Can you hear me?
Mark. Marky Mark.
Oh.
Marky Mark.
Hello. Hello.
Marky Mark.
Hello.
Marky Mark. Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Marky Mark. Oh, Marky Mark.
Hello.
Are you there, Mark?
I'm here.
Marky Mark. Are you alright, Mark?
Yeah. How are you?
Can't hear you.
Well, I can hear you, and I can
Marky
hear me on the
Mark.
YouTube. So, I
Markster. Markson.
don't know what to tell you.
Marksy. Mark a lot.
Hello.
Markin. Mikey.
Um.
Marco. Marxus. Marxus.
Can you hear me now?
There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Are you there?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
it disappeared. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hello. Okay. I can hear you.
Marky Mark.
YouTube can hear me, but you can't
Marky
hear me.
Mark.
Boy. What in the world is going on here?
Markster. Marky. I think you might be muted, Mark.
No. I'm not muted.
Markin. Marksy. Mark a lot. Marky. Moko. Marky.
Well, I can hear you.
Mark.
YouTube can hear me. I don't know what to do. Do you have your headset turned on?
What? That's weird.
Yeah. Very weird. Something's wrong.
It's weird I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
YouTube can?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. You want to see if somebody else will hop in and see if they'll talk to you? Soot, come in here and see if he can hear you. Real quick. Might be an issue on Gangster's end.
Mark?
I can hear you. You can't hear me though, so it's no point in even saying that I can hear you. But I can.
That's weird I can't hear you.
Yeah, I noticed.
Oh. That's weird.
Yeah.
I went to YouTube. I can hear you on there. That's weird.
Yeah.
Does that just blow your mind?
No.
Oh, I'll try come in and come back out. See if that's the problem. I'll be right back.
Hey, Soot, can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
so Gangster, make sure your audio settings are correct. In Restream, make sure it's going to whatever speaker you're listening to. Oh no!
Is he
He
pranking?
left us! He left us!
So
Oh no!
weird.
How you doing, Soot?
I'm good. Just came from the shower.
Ah,
Feeling
me too,
fresh.
me too. Yep. I've been sick as a dog the past few days. I think I got food poisoning,
Oh,
but I'm feeling a little better today. A little bit.
oof.
He's
That's rough.
back! He's back! Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear
Can
me?
you hear me now?
Can you hear me? Logan.
Logan!
Logan.
Logan! I do believe Gangster Ghost is having audio issues.
Oh, God.
Let me do this to show him something. Gangster, watch my screen. Go to settings, audio, and make sure your audio output is going to the thing that you're listening to your stream with. You see? I wonder if he caught that. Gangster Ghost.
There it is.
Hey, you fixed it.
I muted the site.
Oh, good job.
How are you today?
Doing all right. Doing all right. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm still a little sweaty.
Paul Marky Marks. How are you, Soot Kiddo?
I'm fine.
That's good.
Very, very fine.
But Mark,
Yes, sir.
yeah, yesterday that was crazy. Robin, we got upset, I guess.
Hmm.
I think it's because of the
That's too bad.
Illuminati.
Probably.
But,
Yeah, I was pretty much out of commission yesterday.
sorry about that. Oh,
Hi, Grace. Do you need to go outside? Oh, goodness gracious. I gotta take Grace out.
oh no. Claude showed a clip of the video of Dan saying bad stuff about Dawkins.
Yeah, I was watching some of that on Claude's show last night.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy. That was
Claude?
so weird. Oh, yeah, it was crazy. He showed had a clip of it.
Oh, how'd that go?
Right? Called banned by Papa Sky. Oh no.
What happened?
Well, that's an old one.
Beautiful.
But what you been doing today, everyone?
Working?
Oh. What about you, Mark?
Just been trying to recover from being. Yeah. I got food poisoning, I think it was, and
Whoever's
I was basically. Yeah, I spent the day in the bathroom. It was
whoever
not fun.
sold you that, you should sue them for
Nah.
$1 billion.
Nah.
Oh, you
Nah,
sure?
ain't no point in all that.
Any suspects what you might have eaten?
Well, the expiration date is like 2025, right? But I've been hearing from other people that the Progresso soup company has been having a lot of issues with people getting food poisoning, and I just happen to be one of them. Hooray!
Oh, sorry about that.
One of us.
One of us. One of us. So yeah, public service announcement. Do not eat Progresso soups. They made me extremely sick, and has made a bunch of other people sick too. So
You should sue them for $1 billion.
I don't know about all that.
Oh.
I'm
For
just
$1
gonna
million?
throw. I'm just gonna throw away the 2 cans I have left of it. 3 cans. Dang it!
Well, I forgot
Man,
to
I
tell
hate
you.
throwing away food, but I'm not about to
Yeah.
eat that stuff again. That made me feel horrible.
I mean, why not return them to the store so they can send them back and have them checked up?
Get a refund.
Yeah, true.
Well, what do you think Robin said that there shouldn't be any billionaires?
There shouldn't be any billionaires.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any liberals.
She also said, is it true the Founding Fathers didn't like companies?
They didn't like companies. What?
Corporations?
I don't know about all that.
But you're Mark, you should know.
Yeah, it's
You're
just
Mark.
it's something I've never heard before.
Oh, but you're Marky Mark. You know that, Mark?
I know. I think it was Ben Franklin said we've given you a republic if you can keep it.
Yeah. What if? Yeah. This video right here is the one where.
Was it really Ben Franklin? I don't remember. I'm very bad at remembering who said what.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, here's one video where they talk about Richard Dawkins on there.
We should remember though, it's the whole
That thing what he said. I did hear that Dawkins people he got attacked just for asking a lady to give him coffee. But
That's weird.
this guy said, Dan, I never heard that. We said,
Holy Spirit that draws us. So I don't think it would be any harder for Richard Dawkins to do that, because we know that he fell from grace, not from this, but it was around the time. It was the Me Too movement where he kind of asked a young Rebecca Watson at an atheist or conference like that to go up to his hotel room after the bar at 2:00 in the morning. And so, yeah, Richard Dawkins first got
that I never heard of that. I only heard that he asked a lady to get him coffee, but this I never heard. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't
Mark?
know much about Richard Dawkins at all,
Yeah, he is
other
the
than
Dawkins.
he's kind of old.
I've heard his name, seen his face, and that's it.
Yeah, I joked on there as say, is he supposed to be the Pope of Haiti's evolution? A lot of people psychopathism like that. What do you think?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about Richard Dawkins.
Oh, he's a Dawkins. He's a Dawkinite.
Aha.
Dawkins. He the Walkins. He takes the Talkins. He's the Walkins. What do you think of that? Stuff, kiddo.
It's a good beat.
Yeah.
Talking, talking, talking.
Yeah. What if that heard this AC's version of D&D? Darwin and Dawkins. That's just joke. Yeah, that was great. Dan asked me to come on that show the other day.
Did
Is that
you?
weird? A little bit to say hi and stuff. Achilles, he likes Achilles, little old guy. He loved that thumbnail I had for Brother Pike show
Mm-hmm.
about the dinosaur in the sky say, "Remember who you are." I got that from Jason, for Charles's buddy. Yeah, funny. What do you think of that, Mark?
Well, I'm reading about Richard Dawkins a little bit. He was born in Nairobi. Did you know that?
Nairobi, what is that?
A country in Africa, in Kenya. Well, Nairobi is the capital of Kenya,
Oh, he was
or
born there.
was during British colonial rule.
Oh, when it's still part of Britain. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think of that, so? So, kiddo,
Born Nairobi.
would you ever go to Nairobi?
Oh, why not?
What about you, Mark?
I don't know. Never thought about it.
Yeah.
If there's a good reason, so why? Sure.
Oh, one day I'll see about downloading Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I mean, you could play, Marky Mark.
Oh, nice.
Marky Marky.
That'll be fun.
Hi. Sorry, Robin, about the other day. I wasn't ignoring you. I was busy talking to someone. That's when I got done, you guys were already off. Yeah, what happened was crazy. But Mark, who would you like to watch today? Do you like to watch anything that's your fancy?
I don't know. I'm still kind of out of it. Like I'm not sick anymore, but I'm still just really drained, like energy wise. I don't know if you
Takes
guys
a
have ever
while.
had food poisoning, but it'll knock you on your butt.
I had the stomach flu when it was coming out from both ends, and it is wearing.
Yeah, that
Drain.
coming out of both ends at the same time, it's quite a predicament.
Make sure you drink a lot of water.
Well, I've been drinking water. I couldn't hold anything down yesterday, but
Oh.
I'm doing better today. I haven't thrown up since last night, so I think I'm on the mend.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're doing better. You're a good young man. We're proud of you.
I woke up in a pool of sweat in my bed last night. I guess I had to sweat it out.
Mine was like a 3-day hangover. It was ugh.
Oh, it was so much worse than a hangover, though.
It is.
My stomach felt like it was in knots.
As
Just,
soon as you felt the
"Urgh."
touch of water on your tongue, it.
Yep, that's true.
Uh,
Very much true.
I remember one time having something like that. I went to the hospital. They put what is it called? The
IV?
thing in your veins to
Yeah,
put
an
water
IV.
in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to do that?
No, I didn't go to the hospital. I would just stayed at home.
Okay. I'm glad you're all right. How's Mackenzie? Did she have fun at her birthday party?
Oh yeah, she had a blast.
Is she all right?
Good time.
She didn't have anything like that.
No, she didn't eat the same thing that I ate, which is unusual because normally whatever I fix, she eats, but she didn't want any of that soup for some reason. And I was like, okay, fine, fix your own dinner. And she did.
Good
And I
choice.
got sick.
Maybe she sensed the evil of the soup.
Yeah.
What do you think, so kiddo?
I think it was a soup transmitted demon.
Yeah.
That's it. An STD.
Funny. Kenny said he never actually said the war was going to end. He said on that one show of his. What do you think of that, Marky Mark?
I think he's being dishonest.
Yeah.
He may not have said outright the world is going to end, but that was certainly the implication of his entire hour and a half presentation
Wow, that was
on the
crazy.
apocalypse. Yeah.
It,
Telling everybody that the world's gonna end, you got to get to the ark, this, that, and the other, and then he puts an extra emphasis on April 8th apocalypse,
yeah.
and I keep calling it that, the eclipse. It wasn't an apocalypse, but yeah, I think he's just trying to backtrack.
Careful. You gotta be careful of those sex soups.
What?
That's what he said.
He said you have to be careful of the sex suits.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Oh, the SC Demon soups.
Oh, the soup. Yeah. Watch out for that Progresso soup, everybody. That stuff is apparently it's causing some issues these days.
Yeah. They should get sued, and you should get about $1 billion.
Man, that's a lot of money for a day of being sick.
Yeah. And then you could give some money to Scott Kettle.
Yeah.
Where he could sue him for $1 billion. Right, Scott Kettle?
I mean, I still have some of the soup
Yeah.
left over if y'all want to eat it. I could
Oh, no.
certainly ship it to you. It'll probably be even more right by the time it gets there, too.
I
Send it
don't
over.
think. Okay. Do you want it, Scott Kettle?
I think I
No,
passed.
trust me, you don't want it. I promise you don't want it.
Yeah. What do you think of that debate you kind of had with Power Word on Father Charles' show?
I think the Power Word in P-Town, it wasn't Father Charles, was it?
Yeah, the second one was on Father Charles' show.
Oh, well, I mean, he's a dishonest debater, so I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't really have much to say about it.
crazy. Would you ever like to debate him again on the show?
Honestly, I don't really set up debates or anything. If somebody wants to come in and counter my position, I'll defend it, but I'm not really a debate type person.
You could take them all on, and then you could sue that place for $1 billion. Or $1 trillion.
That could be a shtick for Kent. I lost the debate. I will sue you.
You could send that soup to Ken. He might like it. Oh, you know that thing we saw the other day about the lady was dancing? She keep on dancing and geez, Papa, repent.
Oh yeah.
Like I did the same thing, but with Father Charles say, behave yourself. Watch this.
You've heard that, right? Yes, that I've heard. This is in Germany, Munich, and it has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Behave yourself.
You've heard that, right?
I think Chuck should come on and join us.
He said he's going too soon. Well, what about what do you think of that Lupin versus Claude and the Yang and the whiskey combat?
That's great.
Crazy. Yeah, I've been watching that one guy on here. What is his name?
Yeah, I don't know his name. It's his channel's like needgod.tv or something.
Oh, he's on there talking about the Mormons from Planet Momia.
He does a lot of debates.
Mhm.
He has a bunch of shorts that are pretty good.
Yeah, but Brother Pike doesn't like shorts.
Right.
That's each other. Yeah, he's pretty good. He talked about the about the what's it called, the red heifer thing.
Well, what's funny about that, the red heifer had to be from Jerusalem, and they're importing them from Texas, which is kind of silly.
You had the Texas heifer massacre. Is that true?
Yeah.
But yeah, that one guy, he was a bit crazy. That Power Word guy. He sounds a lot like Bubblegum guy. What do you think of that?
I'd have to say yeah, but I gotta step away. My stomach's churning again. I might have to go visit the room. Ugh.
Sorry about
All right.
that, Mark.
I'll be back in a minute. Yep.
Eat cold.
Hi.
I'll just hang out backstage. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yep.
How are you today?
I'm very fine.
Oh, that's good.
How are you?
I'm alright. Have you ever? What do you think of that guy see signs?
I don't care much about him.
He sees the science. With sea signs.
In a film lab.
Oh, do you have any new videos up? Skycat?
Nothing planned?
Do you have any new videos up there? Like new shorts or anything?
No, nothing planned. I'm taking it quite slow right now.
Oh, okay. How you been today? And have you been feeling all right?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, that's good.
I've been working. It was quite a good day at work. What have you been up to today?
Nothing. Not so much.
Just hanging.
What about you? Yeah, what do you think of what they said about Dawkins? That he got in trouble for asking a lady to come up to his thingamajiggy?
No, I don't believe I saw that part.
That's what they said on PG show. Oh, Claude,
No,
come on.
I don't watch Proverbs, guys.
Oh, Claude, come on here. Tell us what you think. He's Claude. But yeah,
Who's your Claude?
he's in the comments. He said hi there. Yeah, last night he had a show on too. About the he talked about that. He said the PG guys lied about Dawkins. He said,
Doesn't surprise me at all.
but he's the dog, the Dawkins. He lied about Dawkins.
The dog a dog.
Have
the
you
dog
ever?
of a dog.
Oh. Would you ever? Chuck, so long as it is it. Come on. Yeah, he said that Dan lied about Dawkins and defamed him. Yeah, it's
That doesn't
crazy.
surprise me at all.
Yeah, the Dawkinites. Dawkins, the Walkins. He takes Dawkins. He's a Dawkinite. But have you talked to Miss Outcast?
Not today yet.
Huh?
I will.
You two lovebirds. One day you're going to get married and be Miss or Mrs. Kettle.
You never know.
Yeah.
One day, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you had a son. What was your name? Scott?
I would name him Logan.
Oh. Oh, Jim Bob. Do you know what? Oh.
Maybe name him Mark Logan Charles.
Oh.
And Claude.
Aiden. Oh. Do you know that guy Jim Bob?
You mean Duggar?
They talked about him in the comments. Well, don't think he's that Duggar guy.
No.
Joe is attacking. I am not dying to a stupid Jabot, I swear. Not on day one. Get back.
That's not him. Mr. Anderson. What do you think of Mr. Anderson?
He's a cool guy.
Yeah. Oh. Debate after show. Aces Jr. versus Kent. Yeah. Oh. Have you talked to Miss Outcast lately?
Yesterday before I went to sleep, but not anything today yet.
Oh.
Been at work to 4 o'clock.
Wow. What time did you start?
I have to think 7.
Wow. You're a hard worker. Do they pay you a lot of money?
No. The pay is very low.
Why?
Because the guy who owns the company is very cheap.
He should pay you $1,000 an hour.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
They should.
How much do they pay you? $100?
I have to check, convert it.
Oh. You serious?
It's about around somewhere around $2,450 it would be per month.
Oh. Wow. Do you? Oh.
It could be better.
You right, Mark?
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, what would you like to watch?
I don't care. I'm just hanging out with you. Figured you'd like some
thank
company.
Have you
thank
tried eating some coal tablets?
Coal tablets?
Coal, charcoal, coal.
No, I haven't.
If your stomach is upset, that's good. Good to eat.
Yeah. I've got some antacid tablets. They help a little.
Would you ever had like have a discussion with Power Word on here? Like he came on here.
I'll talk to anybody.
Would you ever talk to Claude?
Oh yeah, of course. I like Claude.
He's a good little guy. He's a funny guy. Rawr. He's so funny. Look at the mustache guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's more mustache than guy. What do you think of that? But that was my first video I saw of Kent when he took on the 3 professors. Man, is that crazy?
Yeah, that was a good one.
But only difference is,
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7.
I remember Eric Hova in the beginning, who's like introducing the show. They cut that out. Kent's not going to talk about.
I taught high school science for 15 years, and now I travel and do seminars on creation, evolution, and dinosaurs. And my ministry is not.
I wonder why the other guys didn't talk about their wife
This is not
and
my
kids.
wife, just a picture of her. We have 3 kids, 1 of each. I have all the kids married off, and the dog died, so I made it. I'm home free. It's wonderful. And my lovely daughter and her husband are over here. So raise your hand there, Paul and Marlissa.
You want to say something? Just tell me to pause.
Okay.
Good to have them here tonight. And I got 2 grandkids, 1 more due in a few days, and another one due in about 7 months. So I'll have 4 grandkids, all under 3 when it's over with. I'm the founder of Dinosaur Adventureland in Pensacola, Florida. If you ever get up to Pensacola, you need to stop and see that place. We have a science center, a museum, and a theme park, all based on creation, and give glory to God for his creation instead of teaching evolution. We offer a lot of homeschool classes. We have a lot of video materials available. We have a creation boot camp coming up this September, and you're all invited to come up to that. We believe that the creation ought to glorify the God of the Creator. He ought to get credit for what he did. So our position is the Bible is true, evolution theory is seriously wrong, and one of the dumbest and most dangerous religions in the history of the world. That's our totally unbiased opinion on the subject. Thank you so much.
This guy's about to debate. It's more mustache than man.
Professors?
I'll start.
You seem to. Not this guy.
My name's Jim Strayer. I'm from Michigan. I started my educational career in a small Methodist school. I went there for 2 years and then transferred to East.
What do you think of these guys? Kent's debating.
What do I think of him?
Yeah,
I think one of them's got a really awesome mustache.
Yeah. What do you think of this guy? This guy always seemed kind of creepy. Like that. What do you think of Jay?
Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. So is he a professor?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the other guy, the mustache, his mustache also has a PhD.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
What do you think of that, Scott Kettle?
That guy looks like he's wondering over something.
Yeah. He seemed very angry. The guy with the glasses right here. He's a very angry young man.
Does he look angry? I don't know.
I mean, later on in the video, he seems angry.
Okay. Well, he is debating Kent Hovind, so.
Yeah. It was funny, yeah.
Eastern Michigan University to get a major in biology and a minor in chemistry. I taught school for a few years and went into the Army and served as a corpsman in the U.S. Army Hospital. Came home and after a few more years of teaching, I was awarded a National Science Foundation scholarship to get a master's degree in biology. I got that from the University of Michigan. Okay. I have around 100 hours of semesters of science, and most of that's in biology. And I retired a few years ago, and since then I've been keeping active by giving lectures lectures on Charles Darwin and evolution and related biological subjects. I'm very happy to be here. And I feel very comfortable in front of a college crowd, and we should have a good time.
Uh-oh, the mustache man.
I'm Reinhold Sleeper. I teach here, and that means I live around this area too. And there's no way I'm going to be able to top that introduction that we just heard. So I'll just be staying on the side of modesty and stop right here.
I hear a kitty.
Yeah, that's Stuart. He's very talkative.
My name is Luther Reisbeck.
Hi, buddy.
How's he been?
Ow, Grace, that hurt. He's fine. He is
what?
constantly begging for attention. He wants
What
all
did
the
Grace
pets in the world. Grace was trying to climb on my leg with her claws. She wants to sit in my lap too. You're too big, Grace. You're too big.
Aw, so adorable. This guy right here reminds me of Hank Hill, the way he looks. What do you think of him?
Is that King of the Hill, Hank Hill?
Yeah. Just the way he looks. Looks like Hank Hill. But oh, Mark, you said you found that app Ken Hovel's on?
No, I haven't. I haven't even looked for it.
What was that one app you saw on there? You saw like the old school stuff?
I don't know.
I forgot. The other day you saw the one where you're behind this camera.
I'm drawing a blank, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm not firing on all cinder blocks today.
Sorry about that, Mark.
It's all right.
You're a good young man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Oh, just what Father Chuck said. Set up, Mark. I have you the answer a year ago.
Oh yeah, he posed a riddle in the chat, and the answer I gave, apparently he wasn't happy with.
Sorry about that. But,
You've never told me that riddle before, Chuck.
He told everyone else that, but I don't think you were
did
there.
Okay.
And he didn't try to answer, and it did. He never got the answer.
It's a decent riddle.
Do you know the answer, Scott Kettle?
10 pairs were hanging higher,
Yeah.
out of reach.
Yeah.
It's okay. 11 men on horses came riding by. 11 pairs were hanging high. Each took a pair and left 10 hanging there. How is that possible? One of the riders' name was Each. It's a weird name, but that's really the only way that riddle can work.
Father Charles said he did tell you.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think, Mark? Marky Mark? Could we call you Marky?
You can call me whatever you want.
As long as you don't call him late for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're good, buddies. Yeah, that was crazy. Do you see? What was it again? He said on there 11 horses and 10 riders. Took
11 men on horses came riding by. 11 pairs were hanging high. Each took a pair and left 10 hanging there. How is that possible?
I don't know. Do you think it's a trick question?
Yeah. It's definitely a trick question. And don't call me Mr. Each.
Don't call me Shirley.
That's crazy. I don't know. I don't understand that question.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Oh, thank you. But what do you think, kiddo?
I think there were 10 pairs hanging even higher.
Wow.
That could work.
Is that the answer?
But what if each? It said each grabbed a pair.
I don't know.
I'm gonna try to eat some apples. I wonder if I can hold those down.
Yeah.
Got some apple slices.
Oh, you got apple slices?
Yeah.
You ever put peanut butter on apple thingy?
Oh yeah.
Or do you just put them on pizza? Kid's a funny guy. Oh, Mark is correct. The writers is solved. Oh, you won!
Hooray!
Now you get $1 billion.
I could use some money.
Yeah. Mark, he's. And next year I get to go to the UK. Yeah, is that crazy?
It's pretty cool. Oh, Robin says don't suggest apples on food poisoning.
Oh, okay.
You're probably right. Okay, I'll just eat the 3 slices I ate and see how I do.
Eat and find out.
You just sue
Should I
them,
finish
Mark.
my soup from the other day?
No.
No.
He should send the soup to Ken. The kid
Peace
home.
offering. Send it as a peace offering.
Yeah, you could get your gang. Look, the gang's all here, ready to mess some people up. Look, a soft breeze. What? Here's a book based on your life, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
The Warrior, the Mark Stoney story.
That's me.
Mark Powell. Oh, sorry.
Matt Powell.
Is this from Call of Duty? Which duty was it?
That? I don't know.
What about you as Hindu god?
Mm-hmm.
What if it turned out you are a Hindu? But you didn't.
Don't. I'm a hen don't.
You aided. What about this
Who's
guy?
that at the bottom?
I don't know. I think the monkey god.
Ah.
I
Yeah.
asked Bubblegum because he said he believes in all the gods. Does he believe in the monkey god? You have to believe in the monkey gods. But the old. Crazy. Oh, here's Ken as a little kid. Little Kent.
No.
This is the face people make when they see that. Oh, here's me as an egg.
Nice.
In Wesley World. Look. Aiden's the new Charles Darwin.
Aiden Darwin, eh?
Yeah. This is the type of painting you would have in your house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Bubblegum believes in gnomes that steals shoes, I guess. You ever heard of that?
Wait, what now?
Bubblegum believes in shoe stealing gnomes.
I thought they stole underwear.
Sock stealing gnomes. No, only dryers steal socks.
End up in an alternate universe.
That's right.
Where this guy's your president.
Oh gosh. I'm immigrating somewhere else.
So funny. Behave yourself. Yeah.
What happened?
That was the dog.
Oh no! Oh no! It's gone.
Hey, Bubby, what day is it today?
It's Friday!
You having a good day?
Oh, hell!
That's what happens when they knock on your door on Friday. Right, Mark?
Every day.
Well, this is that preacher Dustin Smith was talking about.
Versus pain! Versus... Gosh, shut up. I can handle it. I know.
That's the guy he was talking about. I could tell. Like, weird, creepy guy who called a teenager hot or something. That guy's creepy. What do you think of him, Mark?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah. This is the only type of priest we all should have.
I want a hard priest.
See? Oh, here's Kent.
R-E-S!
Yeah, that's Kent from another dimension. Yeah, that's crazy. Right here is so funny.
How do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know. Look at him. He's all sunburned. Here he's a ninja. Look at him, he's a ninja. He's a crazy guy. He's a ninja. He's a crazy guy. He's a funny guy. Do you know he's actually what's it called? Madoon freedom fighter?
Yeah, a Madoon freedom fighter.
And that really made, but the title made no sense. Ghost is King TV? Does that make any sense?
No.
He's just so funny. With that sunburn. Yeah. When he came on Keeley show, he started talking about Father Charles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about his. I think he felt guilty about what he said to Father Charles. Sound like it. What do you think?
It may be.
Oh. You ever had frozen coffee before?
Frozen coffee?
Yeah.
No.
I had it before. It's actually good. I normally don't care for coffee, but it was actually good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You ever had ice?
You're talking about like the coffee they pour over or on ice or whatever?
I'm not sure. It's like a come on me like a slushy type thing. It was pretty good. Have you, Scott Kettle?
No, I haven't tried it.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
I think some of the iced coffee comes in cans, I believe.
Oh. I had it at say Dunkin' Donuts before. Oh, I forgot. But Mark.
Yeah.
What if could you mod Call of Duty to put you in there?
I don't know. Hey, let's watch this. I know Speed Romans was wanting to see this, and I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
You guys want to watch it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Anderson and I am mean to people on the internet. I'm always very polite about it though, I just tend to ask difficult questions and insist on the answers. It's probably kind of an occupational hazard because I am, in fact, a lawyer. On my channel, you'll find a lot of debate breakdowns, debate analysis, and technique videos about how to adapt cross-examination, tricks and tactics and techniques. I like technique better than trick and tactic. To use in debates and to use in your own arguments in order to force, the reluctant and obstreperous to face the truth. Today we're going to be looking at a debate that I had recently with a guy named Jim Bob. Now, Jim Bob is another pre-supper, and that is a presuppositionalist. These are usually fundamentalist Christians that believe that unless you believe in God, that you can't know anything, and that they can know things, but that you can't.
That's
and
not what
they also
they
typically
say.
like to try and be kind of internet bullies and kind of push people around because they often understand philosophy like slightly better than most people who are focused in the hard sciences. And so that's kind of the way they are, and this guy's sort of no exception. As I say, I mean, I try and always treat people cordially, and I hope to treat this person cordially in our interactions going forward. Hopefully this video isn't going to sour that. But Jim Bob has this pet argument that, in fact, knowledge is impossible in the event that you believe that the world is materialistic, which I think is probably not true. I've kind of set out to demonstrate that to him in this video. So let's watch it together, and I'll jump in and out to help break it down for you.
I think you framed it this way in a different debate. It was like, let's say that there's two people and each one has a different, mechanistically arrived at, view of reality, right? They believe two contradictory things. And it's like, well, you can't really go and get a third, you can't resolve that without just going to a third mind and then asking that mind what it thinks. And then you can't, and that doesn't help. You just get another one and another one, and it doesn't really matter, right? Mm-hmm. Except that's not really true. Because let's say, go ahead.
I'm just saying, by just saying it's not really true, are you going now outside of the deterministic mechanistic view to evaluate whether that's true or not? I mean, you're stuck in the system, right?
I'll tell you how, from a deterministic perspective, we can determine whether or not one of those two ideas is true. Okay. So let's make this a concrete example, okay? There's guy A and guy B. Neither one of those are you and me, okay? Mm-hmm. And guy A and guy B, guy A thinks that he can beat the crap out of guy B, and guy B thinks that he can't and that he would beat the crap out of guy A, right? Mm-hmm. And they both arrived at those propositions through deterministic mechanisms, purely as a result of the law of physics, and there's no true mind in there that's the result of those determinisms, right? And so it's like, well, how can we determine whether or not, in fact, what guy A knows is true, or guy B knows is true? And the answer is guy B could beat the shit out of guy A. And they would know. Both of them would know that, in fact, the proposition that I can beat you up is not true because I just got the tar beat out of me.
No.
And my proposition just met cold, hard reality. And I got new information, new deterministic stimulus, right? This is how we know that it is possible for us to have, like,
who is the third observer?
I don't even need a third observer. Right?
Oh, really?
Guy B can change guy A's mind about whether or not guy B can beat him up by going and beating.
No. Right? Who's the observer then?
Pick one. Do you want it to be guy A? Sure, let's make it guy A.
It doesn't matter.
Guy A is the observer. It doesn't matter. So guy A is the observer. Guy A has a belief, right? A proposition that is based on his deterministic, right? Everything he knows about the universe. I have a yellow belt in, karate, and I lift weights once every 3 months, right? And so he thinks, I can beat up guy B, right? Uh-huh. And then guy B's like, I don't think that's true. Guy A says, well,
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm. Now A gets the tar beat out of it. Now guy A knows that his purple belt or yellow belt or whatever I said in karate didn't help him, right? He has new information.
Oh, you mean So
proposition
did
isn't
he?
true.
So
Has
the way. Okay, hold on. You said new information. So was the way in which
stimulus.
sense data? Yeah, sense data. Yeah. So the way in which he engaged and evaluate with the new sense data, was that determined?
It was all determined.
Okay, so
then
now
you
we're
got
back in the
new
same problem. No,
We're not.
no, yeah,
He's
we
got
are.
a new
Dude,
sense data.
listen. Dude, the thing in question is evaluation.
But there is no evaluation in this situation.
No, there
Okay,
is. You're Hold on.
Yeah.
There is. Is he not evaluating new sense data?
Yeah, he's evaluating new sense data, but the question was not, can I accurately evaluate sense data? The question is, can I test whether my propositions are true? And I think it's fairly clear here that when we have two dueling propositions, if we turn those dueling propositions into dueling people, that they can resort to cold, hard reality, and that we can find out who's right, who's stronger in this case. Although I think this could apply to anything, right? It could be who's right about, whether or not a rocket's going to explode. Fire off the rocket. Then cold, hard reality will tell you who's right. And that's not really a question of sense data. That's a question of testing your propositions, right? It doesn't have anything to do with sense data at all. He's now essentially and this is alluding to something that's going to happen very clearly later. He is retreating to solipsism. That is, he is retreating to the Matrix world. The idea that you can't know anything because you might just be a brain in a jar. And I mean, if that's where he's going to go, like that's kind of the last bastion of guys who like to run from me.
So you set up a system where two people had contradictory propositions, and you said there's a way to, from determinism, to determine whether or not the propositions, the truth of the matter is accessible. And you said they have a fight, and there's an outcome, and then both people or one, right, evaluate new sense data. That's the thing in question.
What's the thing in question? The question.
Their evaluation of sense data.
So you're saying like that? You're saying I'm okay. Well, that doesn't.
There's new sense data. There's new sense data.
Argument. So you're saying
no. There's new sense data.
I just want to reemphasize this because this is the reason that you'll see I'm confused, because this conversation is about whether or not free will is required in order to know anything. It's not about whether or not your senses are reliable at all. And now suddenly, because that argument has basically been taken out behind the barn and shot, suddenly this has always been about sense data, which is very interesting, isn't it?
Okay, so
there's new sense data. You understand. You understand. You understand.
Here's what I understand. I think what you're saying is that there is such a thing as a stubborn mule who, no matter how much information he's given, no matter how badly somebody beats him up or in an argument, or
that's
whatever,
not my argument.
He won't change his opinion.
No,
that person can't get new knowledge.
No, that's not.
That's what you're saying. Then I agree with you.
Nope, that's not what I'm saying. You just fundamentally changed the whole thing. No, what I'm saying is.
I mean, how is it not?
You're not going to let me say.
New sense data. Go ahead.
Because that appeals to the thing. You're assuming they have knowledge of the sense data, which means their evaluation of the new sense data is accurate, which requires a mind, to independently evaluate the new sense data, right? And come to a new proposition about the sense data. Yes, there's no way around it.
There is. Here's an example. So, because, I mean, if the mind is an illusion, right, and there is no evaluative function to the mind other than mechanistic determinations, then we can still have conditioned responses which result in new behaviors, right?
Yeah.
Now he cuts me off here, and that's okay because we were going to be coming back around to this, but then you'll find later that he actually just sort of shuts the chat down and kicks me off, so I don't get to make this point. But essentially, truth-finding machines, if you will. I mean, if you look at a blade of grass that is essentially constantly checking to see whether or not it is facing the sun, and as long as that's true, it stays where it is. And then when the sun moves and it's no longer true, then it has a conditioned response and it will turn to face the sun so that that blade of grass is always facing the sun. And so it's finding truth, and it's doing that without consciousness. And we see that sort of thing all across the animal kingdom and in fact, all across the tree of life. And so the argument is that, maybe our brains are a little more sophisticated, but they're basically doing the same thing. And that means that they can find truth. And if they can find truth, then they can create knowledge by acquiring more truth. That's kind of it, man.
The question I'm asking is, how do you determine the distinction between pure reactivity to stimuli and conscious, meaningful evaluation?
Well, what I'm saying is that from a materialist perspective, there isn't one.
I know,
And
me
that
too.
is coherent.
It's not coherent.
No, but it is coherent, and it still means that even if I have a person, like even if I have no control over the decisions that I make, I can still learn things and know things.
That's question begging. Yeah, that's question begging. Of course it is.
No,
Does it seem like his mic is turned up like way higher than mine? Like, I know that my mic is fine because I've been on many other channels and like the sounds are equalized, but his mic, like his voice seems way louder than mine. And I don't know whether that's just an artifact of, whether it's benign or whether he's kind of turned himself up so it's easier for him to talk over me. But I guess that's one of the dangers of, debating on somebody else's channel. But of course, we're in my channel now, so allow me to pontificate a little bit about what I think about this whole thing. Ready? It's not question begging, Jim Bob, like it or not, because
I didn't notice any issues with the audio. Did you? Maybe he just had it turned up way loud in his headset.
I can create
Maybe he's
truth by
slightly louder.
Yeah, well, it sounded all good to me. But anywho.
Me too.
New sensory data, and I can evaluate that truth based on my conditioned responses, which means that as my senses gather information, I'm gathering knowledge. And so that means that I can possess knowledge, and I can do that whether or not I have a true consciousness or whether consciousness is just an illusion.
Yes, it is.
You're special pleading is what's going on.
No, you're actually special pleading now. You're saying that there's this other outcome to input response called knowing. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying that one of the outcomes of input response is memory. And
is that an experience? Do we get to decide what we know or not?
In this example, no. You don't get to decide what you know or not.
So then it's a strict. So then, no, I know it because I know it. You sound like Professor Plink. You sound like Professor Plink now. I know because I know.
Sounds very beautiful. So I'm sure that that's a compliment. I don't know. But
no, the problem. Let's make.
Now that he mentioned it, it does sound like Bob Chats is a little louder. Not significantly though.
A bit boomy.
Make it more.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
More stripped down and not grant yourself all of these nice descriptions of reality like boxing and stuff.
Okay.
Mechanism. Hold on. Don't interrupt. Let me do it. Mechanism A, you call a brain. They don't have a name. Forget all that. Mechanism A, brain A, makes a proposition. Brain B makes a proposition. Now, we're going to grant a third brain that's the selector of the two in this scenario. Brain A makes a proposition, what you call a prop.
So now Jim Bob very much doesn't like my concrete example because it's straightforward and easy to understand it. It makes it fairly obvious that, yeah, your argument simply doesn't work because you forgot about the most obvious way of checking to see whether somebody's right. We resort to concrete, cold, hard reality. So now he's trying to make it abstract and, I don't know, to make it confusing, but we're just going to get back to the same place, my friend.
Position, utterance. Brain B does it, and now selector C. What mechanism do they use, right? Brain C, to determine the truthfulness or the incompatibility between mechanism A's utterance and mechanism B's utterance. If mechanism C, the selector, everything they're about to do in evaluation and trying to reason is also just another determined utterance by physics.
There's three ways.
Just give me one.
One of them is conflict. We've talked about it, right?
That's not a mechanism.
Well, it sure as heck is. It is a mechanism of dispute resolution.
No, we're not talking about.
If I have a contradictory idea to you and we have conflict about it, then that can resolve that can resolve the dispute.
So you mean a mind is required to independently evaluate two different conflicts? How do you identify a conflict?
Why would a mind be required? If you
How do you identify a conflict? How do you identify a conflict? I'm not talking about dying. Again, I just said there's two brains that have contradictory views or compatible or incompatible. We didn't determine what they are. You skipped to boxing again.
Are those brains connected to physical somethings that can physically interact? Can these two brains physically interact?
No, they're just making logical assumptions.
Okay, well then you can't physically resolve a dispute if you're not.
I didn't ask if you.
Physically.
Oh my God, dude! I didn't ask if you can physically resolve a dispute.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm saying that. I know you're not saying
No,
that. I'm saying
you did. I just presented. No, I just presented something. You just totally
your problem.
You just no. The resolution to whether one proposition is correct or not is not always who can win physically. Are you kidding me?
But it sometimes is.
I'm not asking about. No, I said for the sake of not granting you boxing, right?
I think the problem here is that Jim Bob is trying to conflate my example where I'm saying, look, we're referencing reality because in this situation, if we're disagreeing about who is stronger and we fight, then you know. And he's saying, well, what you're saying is that, if you disagree with me, you can just beat me up. And I mean, yes, also I could, but that's not really like a method of knowing whether something is true. That's just, I beat you up. The thing here is that referencing reality allows us to access truth. That's his big problem here.
I'm saying two propositions about reality, two propositions about reality, not about boxing, about anything.
Right.
Two brains make statements. I didn't even determine they were in conflict or not. You're able to determine whether they're compatible or incompatible. Not whether or not they can be resolved through physicality. I'm asking you, just evaluating two statements uttered from two different determined mechanistic brains. I'm granting a third one is the selector of the two. I asked you, what methodology do you have from a materialist, physicalist view to determine which of the compatibility or incompatibility between the two statements from the two independent objects we call brains?
Just in case anybody was wondering, the other two major mechanisms are intersubjectivity. That is, you do agree.
AJ, how's it going, bud?
AJ!
Hello. Can you hear us?
Hello,
I think
hello.
you're muted. Set up your microphone, AJ. You got this. You can do it. Oh no, it's not working.
Oh no.
All right, we'll play until he comes in with his microphone.
To reference.
There he is.
Hi, AJ.
Hey, how's it going?
It's
All right,
going.
how are you?
Good. I'll carry
Welcome
on. Don't
aboard.
mind me. Yeah.
All right.
Other brains, and you use those to test the veracity of your arguments, because essentially the idea is that if we're all truth-seeking machines, but we're imperfect truth-seeking machines, then you can use the larger number of truth-seeking machines to check to see whether or not, your process is working right, because you check it against those other processes. I mean, that's the kind of fancy way of saying it, right? But like basically what I'm saying is that sometimes a way to resolve an argument when two people disagree is that you find a judge, a dispassionate decision maker, and that person resolves the argument. And the other way is that you negotiate. That is, you compare your ideas and you examine them and you try and convince each other. And, that does also allow you to find truth, because what you're doing then is you're introducing new information. And so if we're all deterministic, then my deterministic insides can go and they can influence your deterministic insides. And I can change your mind. And that may be deterministic or it might be free will, but either way, it happens. And when you learn something new, deterministic or not, that's knowledge, man. That's it.
What's the mechanism?
Okay. So in the real world, right, there are three basic mechanisms. One is conflict, right? Where, as a third mind, I let the two fight, right? And that can be, it could be directly.
Dude! If someone,
I don't have a guy.
if someone says, this dude, holy shit.
What-
If someone
what was
says
What
some
was all
truth
the yelling?
statement about it, this dude, someone,
It could be directly.
dude! If someone,
I don't have
if,
I want to watch that again and again.
dude! If someone,
I don't have, it could be directly.
dude! If someone,
I don't have a guy.
Okay, I might not be able to glean anything from this debate because my brain's in slush land right now from being sick for a couple of days, but that was funny. That made the whole thing worth it.
How are you, AJ? How you been today?
Pretty good. I've been trying to find motivation to make YouTube content, but I've kind of been struggling lately.
Yeah, I know that struggle. It happens. It's a grind sometimes.
All in time.
Yep. Take it at your own pace. There's no rush. No pressure. That's the way I look at it. Like if people expect a lot out of me, then when I wait at my own pace, they're even more pleased when I finally put something out. So
Are you serious?
as far as YouTube stuff. Yeah. I mean, if you've got a little bit of a following, which AJ has a much bigger, subscriber base than me, but if you take some time off, take care of yourself, and then come back, you'll get a good response.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
my experience.
Well, sometimes I wonder if the COVID thing has run its course. And because I tried to watch one of his videos the other day, and I was just like, this is so repetitive.
Yeah, for me, I think it has. I mean, I'll still comment on it, and whenever somebody wants to talk about my experience since I was there, I'll still entertain that. But as far as like the whole let's expose him, with every video we can, at least for me. If I'm not making sense, I'm sorry. I've been sick for a couple of days, but yeah,
sorry.
like you said, it's kind of run its course. I mean, what more can be said when he's saying the same thing over and over?
I mean, he's done a full lap already. He started all over again.
Yeah, I think he was recently trying to start his seminar series over again.
Well, he got another community guideline strike, apparently. I don't know for what.
Too bad.
Surprise.
Remember, he's on an app now.
Yeah, he's on a bunch of platforms. Or he thinks he has his own TV channel, I guess.
Hey, real quick, do y'all want to play this through or watch something else? I'm about to have to visit the throne room.
Oh.
Yeah, you can let it play.
if someone says, this dude, holy shit, if someone says some truth statement about it.
So this is kind of, I don't know, I don't really love this tactic by him where he pushes this button and he's got like a pre-recorded scream thing that screams at you to try and throw you off. But like, I mean, look, man, I don't rattle. So, I'm just going to scream back at you. I don't have a button, but, this is just another example of, keep your cool, meet force with force, be polite when you can. And
it's the exact shit that Proverbs guy does on his channel. It's so annoying. They do the same thing when you're in the middle of saying something and they'll play the Russell Westbrook clip. Which is a good meme, but like, I just, I hate it now. Sorry.
That's all right. We forget.
Another person says a truth statement about a tree, and one of them is right or wrong. Fighting doesn't determine who's right.
It determines who's left.
That's very quick witted,
Right?
but no, we're not talking about who wins by force. We're talking about who's correct. No, we're not. This is
correct.
nonsense.
Well, so I mean, like,
If you're not going to engage with
let's
the
talk about
argument,
other two.
there's
Let's
nothing
talk
else
about
to
the other
do
two.
here.
Let's talk about the other two then. So the other two things are, so conflict can be, it can be an element of, like, we
Correct,
could go and
David.
we could go and we could test in reality, right? So like let's say the two statements were, I hold my pen up, if I let it go, the pen is going to fall, right? And you say, and guy B says, if you let it go, the pen is not going to fall, and we could just let it go, and whatever happens, right? So there's a reference to an objective reality. That's one way to resolve the issue, right?
Hold on. Okay. Now let's look at that. No. Let's stick with that one.
Okay.
You just said the methodology is someone says I'm going to drop the pen, someone says it's not going to fall, someone says it's going to fall. The methodology is referencing reality. And I'm saying, what's the mechanism for referencing reality?
So now we're going back into solipsism then.
Oh,
Now what you're arguing with me is that I can't trust my senses. The mechanism for referencing reality is my senses. So when we had this conversation, I was assuming that you were granting me the reliability of my senses. Are you not granting me that?
No, because that's an evaluation. You need evaluation to interact with your senses.
The reality of my senses, then you can't know anything. So I don't care what you
Thank you. So materialism is false then. So you can't have knowledge. Thank you for
because you're saying that I didn't retreat to solipsism, you did.
You said knowledge is possible from a deterministic, mechanistic universe, and you just ended your own argument.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yours.
If it's true, how can you trust? No, I'm not making the argument for solipsism. I'm doing an internal critique of your view.
Can I trust my senses?
What mechanism? No, I'm not making
Can I trust my senses?
All right, I can't if he's going to keep interrupting. It's really simple, dude. It's really simple.
So at this point, Jim Bob decides that this conversation is over, or actually he decides it's not over. He decides that he doesn't want to have an opponent anymore, and that he'd like to try and repair his argument, on his own, sort of in lecture format. And I actually stayed on and just sort of, shook my head when he was saying things that were particularly disagreeable. And then he actually let me come back on, and we had more of a conversation. But I think this is probably a good point to leave it for this video, and maybe I'll make some more commentary with respect to some of the other portions of the conversation later. Anyways, to Jim Bob, thanks very much for the conversation, and I look forward to conversing with you again.
What
was that all about? Ugh.
Yeah. So it seems like that guy just didn't want. If you can't admit that we have access to our own senses, then you have to make that basic assumption to even have a logical discussion with somebody. Because if you're not going to grant that, then why are you even talking?
Well, if Jim Bob is a presuppositionalist, he's a really, really bad one, because he wasn't even contending like that everybody has presuppositions, that Christians specifically identify God as the source of intelligibility, provides the preconditions for intelligibility and coherence and consistency. He didn't bring up the transcendental argument, which is a good one for presups, but I know that video was kind of going off the rails on the topic, but if that guy, and I think that Mr. Anderson identified him as a presuppositionalist in the title anyway. If he was a presuppositionalist, he was a really bad one. Bad
Is there
argument.
a good one?
Is there a good one? I think Jeff Durbin does a pretty good job with presuppositionalist apologetics. Cy Bruggencate is another one.
Yeah.
Although he's been through quite a bit of controversy.
What happened?
I think he still has some pretty good arguments.
What happened with him?
You think Cy Bruggencate has good arguments?
As far as presuppositionalism, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, AJ, have you seen
Wow.
this guy who made a cartoon character out of Side 10?
Yes.
This crazy funny cartoon. He
Yeah.
gave him old lady's voice.
Yeah. I used to watch him years ago.
Didn't Matt Dillahunty debate Cy Bruggencate?
Yeah.
Cy 10 Bruggencate. Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah. And
Bruggencate?
Cy wouldn't take a picture with Matt afterwards.
Oh.
He refused to.
Oh. Side 10 guy. That was that. Have you seen that cartoon, Mark? The guy made of Side 10. Yeah, voice of an old woman. It's funny. I forgot what they call the cartoon. Do you know the cartoons?
I do. Or, well, no, I don't. Unless it's, see, my brain's not working today. I've had a fever and been throwing up and diarrhea for the past few days from food poisoning. I'm just barely hanging in there, but I'm trying. No, I don't know the cartoon.
Do you know the cartoon name, AJ?
I could probably look it up if you give me a second.
Yeah, it's a funny cartoon. He have all kinds of ones. One where he attacks, goes after, Islam, at all kinds of ones. One he goes after, Tecton. It's a funny cartoon. It's really messed up. Have you ever seen Soot Kettle?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, it was a crazy cartoon. Also kind of remind me of Dark Matter something.
Yeah, Dark Matter 2525.
Yeah. Have you seen that, Mark? Stoney?
Nuh-uh. No, I haven't.
Have you, Soot Kettle?
Some of his videos I have seen.
Yeah, this is it. This guy is a crazy cartoon. It's called Saitan. Yeah, that's the name of the cartoon.
I'll share with you the tale of when I met some baggy trousered gentlemen. They spoke with flair and with panache. They all had beards but no mustache. They had a book called the Quran, containing some divine and cosmic plan. And then I cringed in fear and dread as one closed up his book and said, just do it before you die. Join Islam, come on man, don't upset the man in the sky. The consequences are dire, you really piss him off and then he'll burn you in the fire. Just do it, join Islam now. And I said, I can't do it, I really don't believe in God. Your passion and your fashion, I think are really rather odd. And no derision is my decision, and I don't like the idea of a circumcision. I can't do it, I won't join Islam. And they said, join Islam, read the Quran, linguistically it's sublime. I've checked, and it's perfect in every way and for all time. It's righteous, it has no likeness, is a verse with 42 rhetorical devices. Just do it, join Islam now. And I said, I can't do it, I've never felt the need to pray on a carpet with a view of men's asses. Sorry, I don't pray that way, I'm at a disadvantage. I can't read the language, all I want is lager and a bacon sandwich. I can't do it, I won't won't join Islam. And he said, I won't boast, but first and foremost, ask yourself what if you're wrong. You believe that something came from nothing. My faith could never be that strong. It's not pragmatic, it's un-Quranic. It violates the second law of thermodynamics. Think about it, but don't take too long. And I said,
Yeah, he's got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But the character is Psi 10. Like, this is supposed to be Psi 10.
I found a debate between Psi 10 and Arn Ra from 10 years ago. You want to
Wow.
watch that? That's an old debate.
What do you guys
I've never
think?
seen it.
What do you think, AJ?
Sure.
No, he was buddies with Eric Kova.
Yeah.
Who was?
Psi 10.
Oh yeah. I did not.
Yeah,
know
they were like partners for a while, but then
really
I think they had a falling out or something. Yeah, they were like
They're
touring
Hovens.
around together.
That's the Hovens for you. It's like a family tradition of falling out. Anywho, this might be interesting. If not, let me know and I'll take it off. And if you want me to pause or anything, let me know too. I'm sorry I'm not being very interactive today. I'm just not feeling well.
That's all right. We forgive you.
Well, today I sent a tweet out to Psi 10 Brugenkade and said, hey, we're going to be covering your stuff. This is your invitation. And he's agreed to call in. So he's on hold with us right now. So I want to bring him on specifically to talk about presuppositional apologetics. Ladies and gentlemen, Psi 10 Brugenkade. Hello, Psi. How are you, sir?
How's it going? Thanks
man.
for having me on.
Hey, no problem.
Christians won't call into your show? You got to be kidding.
Not usually. Not usually. But, I mean, occasionally. I mean, sometimes they do. We have a lot of Christian guests on, but never just random Christian callers. Never just that.
I'm not a random Christian caller either.
No, you're not.
You tweeted me.
Right? That's true. That's true. I tweeted you, so you're officially a guest. Give us a brief definition of presuppositional apologetics, because that's really what I want to talk to you about. Not necessarily the existence or non-existence of the Christian God, but specifically presuppositional apologetics. Let's talk about it. Tell us what it is.
Well, the best way for me to describe it would be to contrast the differences in apologetic approaches. Most Christians, when somebody comes up to them and somebody denies the existence of God, they respond with evidences. They give the person evidences to conclude that God exists. And what I say is, where do you hear evidences most often in the secular world? You hear it in the court of law. Say, who do you give evidence to in the court of law? You give it to the judge and the jury. So if somebody comes up to me and says they don't believe in God, and I give them evidence, what I'm in effect saying is that they are the judge and the jury, and that God is on trial. Right. But Scripture says that everybody knows that God exists. So rather than make the unbeliever the judge, I expose the fact that they do know that God exists by exposing that the presuppositions necessary for rationality, for rational interchange, for rational exchange actually presuppose the Christian worldview. So what I'm saying is everybody knows that God exists. In order to do a podcast like you're doing and the things that you discuss, they don't make sense according to an atheistic worldview. So the presuppositions, what it comes right down to is it's the beliefs that we have before we get to the evidence. It's our pre-beliefs, our presuppositions. And what I as a presuppositionalist do is I expose the fact that atheist presuppositions cannot account for rationality.
Okay, so fair enough.
So someone born and parents are atheist, they raise them atheist, never go to church, and they firmly state that they don't believe in God at all. You're saying that they do because it doesn't make sense not to? So I'm a science person, so I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying, for instance, is that in the Bible it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. All the treasures of wisdom and knowledge are hidden in Jesus Christ. So when I'm saying that it's innate knowledge that people have of God, and they expose this knowledge of God when they make knowledge claims, when they try and behave rationally in this world because they cannot make sense of it without Him. Now, I'm not saying that these people have to profess that God exists in order to be rational.
So,
but
let me just
what
clarify.
it comes down to is the fundamental assumption is that they must know that God exists in order to account for rationality.
Okay, so let me clarify. You're saying that if her direct question was, you've got an atheist parent who has a child, never talks to the child about God at all. The child is raised and becomes an adult at some point. You think that person at 12 years old. Because the Bible says that all people know that God exists, that 12-year-old automatically, innately knows that God exists, even though that 12-year-old has never been taught about it?
That's right. Well, that's our position. Now, let me explain that all Christians actually believe this, but even evidentialists don't understand this. They don't understand that they believe this because, let's say, for instance, that 12-year-old does not know that God exists. It would follow logically that they would have an excuse when they stand before him. Would you not agree with that?
I'm sorry, say
if
that
a
again?
person really doesn't, if a person really does not know that God exists, would it not follow logically that they could stand before God and say, "Look, I just didn't know"?
Well, it's not just they don't know. I mean, there's
There's
you're
no
an atheist,
concept of
you
it.
don't have
Yeah.
a concept. And
No, but the thing is, would it not follow logically if the person did not know that God exists, had no concept?
See, I don't think that's a fair thing to say that atheists have no concept of God. Of course, you'd have to have a concept of something to choose whether or not to believe in the concept. So that's kind of a nonsensical rebuttal or refutal. I mean, AJ, you have a concept of God, obviously. Like,
Yeah,
when
and
somebody
a
says
12-year-old.
God, you know what's being talked about.
Yeah, and a 12-year-old, I'm assuming they're talking about America. Even if a 12-year-old didn't get told about God from their parents, I don't think you can live in American society and not understand what God is, specifically the Christian God, because I'm assuming that's what they're talking about here, even though he said at the beginning.
Well, I think even in countries like in Sweden, where they're predominantly atheists, they still have a concept of God. I mean, I think you can go pretty much anywhere in the world except maybe North Korea and have people at the age of 12 that have some concept of some higher being, whether it's the God of the Bible, the God of Hindu or Islam or what have you. They have some idea, some concept of a higher power.
Yeah, and it's like you said, you really have to have a concept of it in order to reject it. If you call yourself an atheist, that's because you've taken a stand as a position that you've seen these claims, you've evaluated religious claims, and you rejected them. Otherwise, you're just indifferent or just ignorant to religion, which is the default position, is that you're just unaware of it. But to actually be atheist, I think, is more of because it's more of an activist position.
Right.
Usually.
Oh, Mark, I found this one video. Mike Winger?
Yeah.
I've heard of him, yeah.
He talks about Satan.
Oh. Okay.
Well, let's keep playing this, and maybe we can switch over to that one in a little
Yeah,
bit.
this is shaping up to be a pretty interesting discussion.
Yeah.
Concept of God,
If he
and they
existed,
stood
he
before
didn't
him, and
know.
God says, "Well, I'm going to send you to hell for not believing in me." Would that wouldn't make sense? No, would
You're
it?
right. It doesn't make sense that a God would
That's
damn
right.
somebody for
That
not
would not make
believing in
sense.
them.
Well, let me
That's the
finish.
part that doesn't make sense. A fact, by the way, I need to bring up. A fact is a demonstrable area of data that has measurable accuracy. You can verify that it actually exists. You made a fact that was an assertion based on a book that we know is wrong. And to tell me that I know what I know I don't know, and you are pretending to know what you know you don't know. Ignorance and arrogance. This is what this guy gets.
Are you going to let me finish?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that if this person really does not know that God exists, then witnessing to them would be the worst thing that we could do for them. Because then we'd be telling them about God, they can deny him, and know they can go to hell forever. But the point is, God does not send people to hell for denying what they don't know. He sends them to hell for their sin against the God they do know. Now, Aaron is talking about rationality and logic, and I was on a show with Aaron where he just screamed at the top of his lungs. It's interesting that you say on your tweet that you want to be a presuppositional apologist, that just put your finger in your ears, close your eyes, and scream.
That's what I
Well,
said.
that's what Aaron was doing on this last show. And that's what happens. They try and shout over the Christian. Because I can easily expose the folly of Aaron's worldview. Because one of the things he said is, you send your kids to church, and you ask them, did they tell you anything that was true? And my question for Aaron, and I asked him on the show too, is, what is truth according to your worldview? And he cannot justify truth without God.
Okay, well, hold on.
But
So,
how
so
can
let
you
me explain my
justify it?
tweet that you brought up. What I said was, if you want to be a presuppositional apologist, I said, put your fingers in your ears, close your eyes, and just scream, "I'm the boss because the boss said so." What I mean by that is, your video, when you were describing presuppositional apologetics, you said, "I'm not going to offer evidences to the atheist because the atheist can't understand truth until he first repents." So in your order of things, I must first repent for my sins,
why do you have sins in the first place?
Well, hold on. That's the point. His argument is that you first repent for your sins, and once you repent, then you can be revealed the truth. But you cannot understand the truth. So that's my.
If that's Sai's argument, that's a pretty pathetic argument. The guy is restating his argument, so I don't know if that's exactly what he said. But if it is, that's weak sauce.
It's what he said on Twitter, and he's smuggling in, because first he said that just knowing God exists is what you need for knowledge, but now he's saying that you need to know God and then you need to repent for your sins, which is an extra step that he didn't mention before.
Yeah, and I posted a verse from Romans in the chat. It's Romans 1:20, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world that are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. And that, to me, is the basis of presuppositionalism, is that everybody already has a concept of God, and the following verses go into why people reject God. But no, it's not a matter of you have to repent to have access to knowledge. But the Christian worldview, the presuppositionalist worldview, says that in order to have that knowledge, it has to be sourced by more of an objective standard than just, yeah, I think so. Yes, I agree. A consensus.
That's my point, is that you're saying that you do not argue evidences. You won't provide evidence because you're not an evidential apologist. And what that means is you will not provide evidence, because if you provide evidence to an atheist, you're putting God on trial and making the atheist the judge.
Not only that, but you can be forgiven for absolutely every sin you do except one, which is
But the
disbelief,
problem
which
is-
means that the Bible expresses that it is possible to not believe.
The fallacy is that you say that I put my fingers in my ears and I refuse to discuss things. I don't. What I'm saying is that the debate is not at the level of evidence, because we will all examine evidence according to our respective presuppositions.
Okay, and that's
The
fine.
debate
Unless
is not
you
at
don't
the level
have
of evidence. The debate
presuppositions.
is at the level of presuppositions.
Except
now,
if you're
I'm going
like
to ask
me
it
and don't
again, and we'll
have
see if Aaron
presuppositions.
answers this question by the time we get to the end of the show. What is truth, and how can you know anything to be true according to your worldview?
What is true, and how do we know anything to be true?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm letting you
What
answer.
is true? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
Aaron do it.
Whatever you can verify objectively through evidence. Truth is whatever we can determine to be true.
Okay.
Whatever we can show to be
ask
true.
something as an
We
ignorant
have
hold on.
Christian
when you get somebody on stand, like he was talking about in the court, and they swear that they're going to tell the truth. Well, you don't automatically assume that whatever they say is the truth because they swore that they were going to tell the truth.
Right.
It becomes the job of the court to determine whether or not that is the truth. And of course, what is the deciding factor is whether they can determine that the statements made are true. So when you verify that it is true, then it becomes true. So truth is whatever we can show to be true. And if you can't show it to be true, then it's not truth.
So
but you can't be revealed the truth until you repent sins, right?
Right. You have to repent
But
first, and then you
how
can.
can you sin?
Well, the thing is, Aaron was begging the question with his definition, but quite basically, he has a correspondence theory of truth. His theory of truth is whatever is real. And I asked him this question on the Magic Sandwich Show. I said, how do you know what's real according to your worldview? And I would love for him to answer that question.
I just did.
And
How do you know what's real?
Even if you
It's
don't
what you
answer
can
it.
demonstrate.
As I told you on the Magic Sandwich, and as I told Eric on the field when he lied and said that I didn't say that, even if this is the brain in a vat kind of thing, if we're all living in a computer-enhanced hallucination like the Matrix, it wouldn't matter if this is all a dream of Brahma, because the reality has laws which apply to us. And so the reality is still real from our perspective, even if reality wasn't real at all, which, of course, it has to be. Arguing that reality isn't real is moot and ridiculous. So reality has to be real, at least from our perspective, and we have to take that it must be real beyond that. The laws apply to us. The laws of this physical universe apply to us. We have to obey them, whether they're real or not.
So Sai, you claim that you claim to have.
I actually agree with Aaron Ra there. Absolutely. We are bound to the laws of nature, the laws of logic, reason, everything, gravity, you name it. We're bound to that whether we believe that God is responsible for them or not. Now, I thought it was kind of silly when he said that, even if we're in a simulation and none of this is real, it would still be reality to us. I mean, that's kind of a...
True. But that's true, though.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be reality. It would be a false reality.
It doesn't matter though, because if you have a nervous system and you can stimulate that nervous system in order to make somebody feel pain, even if it's in a simulation, that person is still, it's still real to them. The pain is still real to them. So that's why he's saying it doesn't matter. Because
Well, if you're in a simulation, then you don't have a nervous system. You're just bits of information.
yeah, but you would still, in that simulation, it wouldn't matter to you because you'd still feel the pain.
Simulated pain.
See,
in your
simulated,
simulated
but-
self. Right. No, I get it. It's just kind of a funny way to put it.
Well, we're talking about a simulation that is indistinguishable from reality.
Yeah. Right. Right. And of
In
course,
that scenario, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, if the beings within the simulated had simulated sentience, then sure, I could accept that. But so far, we haven't been able to prove any kind of computer-related sentience of any kind. But
Well,
anyway,
it's artificial intelligence.
yeah, that's not
Pretty-
sentient
pretty-
though. It is very useful and pretty intelligent, but it's not sentient. It's not self-aware.
I've had conversations with ChatGPT that were more engaging than real humans.
Oh, I have too. Plenty of them. I've gotten into debates with ChatGPT till I'm just about angry.
What if AJ? What if your AI tells you that they need a Christian virgin for you can sacrifice to talk to the underworld?
I guess then you do what it says.
No, I didn't. I sold the whole computer and built a new one. Thing was cursed. No, actually, Logan, I found out that was a quote from a movie, and what I had done to train my AI was it was a corpus of movie quotes, and I don't remember what movie it was. I don't remember exactly what the quote was, but it did turn out it was just responding to me with what it thought was a relevant movie quote.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually working. It just wasn't very smart.
Oh, okay. That does sound creepy.
Yeah. I built an AI from the ground up. Trained it and everything, and it was telling me that I needed to sacrifice a Christian virgin young lady in order to commune with the underworld. And I'm like, okay, that's creepy.
Yeah.
A little bit. All right, let's get back to it.
Have knowledge. You claim to have absolute knowledge of truth because God revealed it to you, right?
And I can't have that, right?
Right, Sai?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I can know some things for certain to be true, just as you do, because
Except
you all know
that you
God
don't.
exists.
You say things that I know are not true, and you say they are true.
How does
Well,
how do you know
if I'm going to engage Aaron, let me respond to what he said about what truth was. He said he didn't know what's real. He said
I didn't
truth
say
is
that.
what's
I
real,
did
and he
not
No,
say that.
Sai, he didn't say
I
that.
said the
doesn't.
opposite
Okay,
of that.
which reality is real, Aaron?
The reality
Which
is
one?
real. What are the options?
Hindus say all is Maya, all is illusion.
I don't understand.
Which one is real? They say all is one. How come that one's not real?
Because neither of those are real. The reality is real.
They don't have demonstrable
not
evidence.
Hindu beliefs.
Okay.
Not
But people have different concepts of reality. How do you know you have the right one?
where is there an option? There is the one that we can measure and test, and then what is the other one? Or
But
what
you know
is another one?
Hindus, for instance, will say all is one, all is Maya.
Except that
these,
there's
contrast
one
between truth and
and
falsehood are just
only
illusion.
one
Right,
that
so let
can
me-
be measured.
Right.
If it can't be measured, it isn't real.
So everyone
Okay,
else
now-
has these. Everyone else has these assertions that they make about their particular view on reality. And what we're saying is, Sai, that if you cannot measure or demonstrably test something, it does not fit into reality.
Okay,
It
now here's the
effectively
problem with
isn't
that.
real.
Here's the problem with that. Because you people are reasoning about what you think is the right reality, but you cannot justify your reasoning.
I
according
don't
to your
have to
You
justify my reasoning.
Why can't?
Okay,
why can
Aaron.
you and I can't?
Would
Right.
you agree that there are people in this world who are unable to reason rationally?
Yes, and how do we determine that?
Okay, well, let me finish my analogy.
We determine that by
admitted
people
that
who
there are-
can
Let me
reason
finish.
rationally. And they can
Let me finish.
confirm with each other when they can reason rationally. They have means of communication and, more importantly, verification. They can measure it it's real. They can check their measurements. I can check their measurements to show that it's real. When the Hindu comes up and tells me what a hallucination is, they tell me whatever their reality is. I want to measure it. How do you know it? If they can't show it, they don't know it. You can't show it, you don't know it. All you do is assert your assumption and affirm your conviction. That's it.
Okay, back to my point. You have admitted that there's people in this world who cannot reason rationally.
I'm talking to one.
Okay.
Yes.
That being the case, would you not require rational reasoning in order to determine that you are one of those people?
Not my own. And that's why your argument breaks down. It's not
No,
circular.
okay. So you admit that there are people in this world who cannot
have
reason
means of-
rationally.
Yes, and can
And
measure.
it follows logically that you would need rational reasoning to determine if you were or if you are
We
not one of
have
those people.
definitions.
So my question to you,
We
Aaron,
have
is how do you know you're not
definitions
one of
and
those
measurements.
people?
Because we have definitions and we have measurements. We have
And the challenge-
evidence
the challenge
and
goes-
objective means of determining things that do not depend on our worldview.
Right. And Sai, hold on, Sai, hold on.
Yeah.
And it goes. The same question could be posed back to you, to say how
And-
do
and I'd
how
be
do you
happy to answer it,
okay
but the
how
thing
do
is-
you know how do you know the truth?
Well, it has not been answered yet.
Okay, well, hold on. My question would be, how would you know that the truth that has been revealed to you, the truth that you understand it, or the logic or reason or the reality that you understand it as it is not really driven by Satan to fool you into following him? How do you know that the God that you're following and the God that has revealed this to you is not actually evil and that Allah is the one true God?
Right. And I'll be happy to answer that question as soon as we get back to my point that was talked over. I'd be happy to go there. I don't mind doing that. But you're talking about putting their fingers in their ears and yelling, but that's not the case. See, I can't even get a rational answer. People keep going on and on and on.
You've never
Let's get back to
started
the point.
a rational answer.
There are people in this world who Aaron admitted cannot reason rationally. And he's saying that the way that they would determine that they're not such a person is by reasoning rationally.
No, I
And
didn't.
if you cannot see the illogic
No,
there,
he didn't
the
say that.
illogic
Pause
of
it.
the
That's
view,
not
then
what
there's
I
no
said.
point in continuing.
There is no point in continuing. It's
Sorry.
going to twist
Pause it.
everything that I said. Remember when I said
Okay,
that Eric
no.
lied
Well, why
about
don't
what
you
actually...
So a person, that's why we have other people to determine if somebody is considered sane or if they're of sound mind, because you can't decide for yourself in those situations. So you have a professional decide based on criteria. Like, they ask you if you've been in a car accident, they ask you if you know who the president is, if you know the date, or how many fingers am I holding up, objective things that are measurable and that we can confirm. And if that person's answers differ, then you know that something's likely wrong.
Yeah. I think
he's asking
both
Aaron
of
to
these
confirm it
guys-
himself.
I think both of these guys are kind of getting off in the weeds to the main point, though, which, yeah, I think Sai's opening statement was pretty solid, but it's been falling apart ever since. And I think Aaron's just kind of letting it go that way. I think they both need to get back on topic. But, I've never seen this debate, so we'll see what happens.
Explain to
said,
me then. Why don't you
you're
explain to me how a person
You're
who's
lying
reasoning
about
is
what I
irrational could
actually
know that they're-
said. You're lying about what I actually said. We have measurements. We have objective criteria. We have evidence that can be taken by machines and analyzed. It doesn't depend on our worldview.
Aaron.
Stop there. So what he's saying is we have measurements, we have scientific measurements. We don't just rely on our own logic, our own ideas, our own reason. We have measurements and scientific data.
Here is the question again. How could a person who could not reason rationally know that they were not such a person or know that they were such a person? Would you not admit that they could not know if their reason was irrational?
Depends on how extreme the condition is.
And
Well,
even if they couldn't,
if they
then
could not
continue.
reason, if they had an inability to come to logical conclusions,
Then they can't communicate
which you admitted
either.
that such people exist. Those
I
people
think
could
people
not
can
know that they were such
reason
people.
on
Would you not
a
admit
scale.
No, okay.
We don't
so,
have a dichotomy. We have a sliding scale.
Right, and
what
how do
you're
you know that
talking
you're not
about-
one of those people?
What
It's
you're
a
talking
very
about,
simple question.
What you're talking about is all the way down on a scale where they can't even
It's a
communicate.
very simple question.
And I
Yes
answered
or
it.
no?
No, it's,
It's not just a yes or no.
It's a very simple question, but the answer is not yes or no.
So how do you know you're not one of those people, Sai?
That's what I'm asking you guys.
And that's what I'm asking you. Answer the question.
But you won't answer the question.
We just said it.
We did repeatedly.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
you're not answering
we did.
the question.
We can be analyzed, whether by people or by machines, according to evidence, according to chemicals in our brains. We can be evaluated according to all the criteria required, according to tests that can be run on our psychology, on our ability to reason and rationalize. We can estimate data. We can communicate. We have many different tests by which we can confirm solidly. And one thing that we absolutely need to get rid of if we want to make sure that we are objective in our analysis is faith.
Aaron, if you were a person who could not reason to rational conclusions, could you know that you were such a person?
Yes.
You could?
Yes.
How? With rational reasoning, correct?
With measurements.
Yes.
Yes, which you evaluate with rational reasoning, correct?
No, you evaluate
I don't
with data.
I don't have to understand it. If I'm incapable of reasoning, then again, we're trying to draw a dichotomy,
Probably
which it
be
isn't.
in a mental hospital.
Right, because he's talking about people being sane and people being insane, and that there's nothing in between. Everybody is neurotic to some
I'm not
degree.
saying that there's nothing in between. I'm asking a simple question. If you're a person who is unable to reason rationally, could
At
you
all.
know it?
Literally at all.
Right. Okay, so he's
Is that
talking
what
about
we're
a
saying?
vegetable. So a vegetable.
Someone who
yeah.
is completely irrational and unable to
Could you
comprehend.
know it?
Yeah, someone in a coma probably.
And then
isn't
we're
gonna
supposed
know
to
it.
say, no, we wouldn't know the difference. And then he's going to say, ha, how do you know that you're not one of those people?
Exactly.
Therefore,
Right, because we're able to communicate.
You will not answer the question.
Right. I answered the question. I'm going to answer the question again. Because we can communicate means that we possess this ability that the person that you're using in your hypothetical example does not have.
But Aaron, that presupposes rationality.
That doesn't presuppose anything.
Okay,
If
so
you
now that
can't
we've answered the
communicate-
question,
Can't reason, you
Not gonna do
can't
this again.
talk.
Now that we've answered
Can
the
you-
question, Si.
Can you give me an example of a
Every
conclusion that you could come
conversation-
to if your reasoning was not rational?
Hold on a second.
What?
Hold on a second.
I might believe things on faith. That's the first thing. That's the first
Could you give me-
indication. You have
Could you give
people
me an
who believe.
example of a conclusion you could come to if your reasoning was not rational?
No.
Could you give me an example of
Faith.
how that would
Stop.
happen?
Everybody stop. No. I'm not giving you anything until you answer the question. Because we answered
Well,
the
it hasn't
question.
been answered yet.
We answered the question.
I keep
We
answering
answered
it.
the question, and now I want you to answer
Okay,
it.
well, let's recap and then I'll answer the question. Let's recap.
Okay, a
and then I'll
conclusion
be
that
happy
you
to
would
answer the
come
question.
to
Let's
if you
recap.
if you
I
were
asked
not
Aaron-
able to reason, what would be a conclusion that you would come to? Faith. The belief that if you believe something hard enough, that reality will somehow change, that you can wish
believe
things to
that
happen.
that you can reason rationally on faith.
What?
You believe that you can reason rationally on faith.
No, I don't have faith. I'm an epistivist. Faith is the most dishonest position it is possible to have, and that's why I reject it.
Okay.
Because
hear
faith
him.
is
Problem is-
inherently flawed because it causes you to believe things that are not true. It is an assertion of absolute conviction, which is never wise, and at any time you assert something as fact that is not evidently true, that is dishonest. So your position is neither wise nor honest.
If I say
problem,
that
Aaron,
I'm
is
unable
when
to
you
know,
justify your reasoning with your reasoning, you're stating
Except
your
that I
Hold
don't
on.
do that.
I want Rachel to say something. Go ahead.
I don't
Rachel.
ever talk about this stuff.
I know.
But
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to go with this question. If I say that in some sort of weird world where people are not actually accountable to what they say or actually watched by the scientific community when they actually make big claims, if I say that I'm unable to know if I'm rational or not, or I have reason,
Then how would you know?
then how could you know? What's the difference between me?
But the problem is
and
he
you?
doesn't know.
That's what we want to ask him. How do
But
you
he
know?
thinks he does, so we want to know why.
And I'll be happy to answer. And I said I would answer, but I'm going to recap first. What I said was I asked Aaron.
Recap means twist our words to make us say something
No.
we didn't
Well,
say.
if this is wrong, then you can correct that. But I asked him are there such people in this world who cannot reason rationally? And I said, how would you know that you're not such a person? And he gave me all these examples that would require rational reasoning.
Wrong.
And if you're happy with that, I'm happy to go on. Now you can ask me your question.
Wrong.
No, we
That
said
is not what I said.
We said scientific data. We said
No, but
regardless.
I'm explaining
Scientific
what is
data
the
that could be
We s-
scientific data that could be evaluated by machines. It has absolutely nothing to do with your worldview.
How do you know that you're rational, though?
Because
If you're not capable
pure
of rational, if you're not capable
analysis.
of being rational, then you would probably be our guest on the show tonight.
But that's the fallacy of irrelevant.
I just want to say that every irrational, unreasonable person that I know, you could not convince them with any sort of reason that they're unreasonable or irrational. It doesn't work. You can try to. You're red in the face, blue in the face, whatever. Not going to work. They'll never believe it.
How do you know who's rational and who's not? That's
Because I am a rational person and a reasonable person.
Yeah, I think so.
By and large, I think something that Aaron brought up earlier is kind of crucial to understanding this. It is kind of a sliding scale, right? So you can be completely off your rocker, bonkers crazy, and not even know your elbow from your butthole, and you know you're never going to be able to even have that conversation with a person like that. But then again, you can have somebody who's just slightly, you know, off base about a couple of things, and you're going to have the same result. They're not going to be able to comprehend what you're saying on that topic, whereas in other places they'd be perfectly, you know, reasonable and rational. I think people are subjected to biases, and they can be unreasonable biases or reasonable biases, and um, whether or not, you know, they become dogmatic about that, I think is evidence of their rationality on their position.
Yeah.
If that made any sense.
Yeah.
Tried to make sense anyway. Like, okay, so if you ever get into an argument with somebody, which none of us here have ever done that, and like there's either a right answer or a wrong answer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be a right answer or a wrong answer. And you know you have the right answer, but nothing you say can convince the person that they're wrong. But yet you still get along, you're still friends, and you agree on pretty much everything else. So that's, I mean, we all have a little bit of this irrationality.
What about Sufketo? He seemed very rational.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I hope so.
Where's
I'm doing my very best not to call out names because I could identify a few irrational people that
Where's
we know
AJ?
and love. Oh, did AJ leave us?
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's gone.
He gone.
Like he said, that was so funny. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, no.
He's gone.
It's gone.
What do you think, Sufketo?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, Sufketo, he can bend metal with his bare hands.
Me too.
Yeah, just like you. What if
As
you make
long
it
as it's
very,
quite
very
thin.
like, oh, here I can bend this metal. This is a Sprite can.
Wow, that's
Bent. Got it.
Well, Mark,
Yeah.
do you know
Bending
how
metal.
mod games?
What?
Mod games?
Mod games?
Yeah.
I try not to. I like to enjoy the games as intended.
Oh, but do you know how mod them? You are a genius, you know.
Yeah. You figure
Like,
it out for sure.
Do you know how like I could make up your own mod where I can mod WrestleMania to have 10 guys versus 10 guys?
I don't know how to do that, but I don't have WrestleMania.
2000?
No, I don't have it.
What about WrestleMania 2025?
I don't have any wrestling games.
Oh. What about Sufketo? Does he?
I got me thinking, what games do I have? Very few.
Oh, that same jig I found Mike Ringer, he's doing a response to Psy 10.
You want to show it?
Yeah. He seemed like a tough guy. What do you think of Mike Ringer?
I don't know him too well, or at all really. I've heard of his name. I might have seen some shorts he's done, but nothing beyond
What do you
that.
think of Sufketo?
I don't know who that is.
He's a ringer. His middle name is Wright. But he's left-handed. It's weird. Oh, sorry. That's a joke.
What's up, everybody? Managing money can be a total mystery, especially when you're juggling student life. That's why I found the Game Changer, Experience Boost. All you have to do is connect your bank.
That's an ad.
Method. And Ten Bruggencay is the gentleman who I used as my model for that method. And I offered a critique of his specific claims. And so he is joining me now live to respond to what I said. So the question we're looking at is it biblical or is it not biblical to use a presuppositional method? And I'm going to let Sai introduce himself. But first I'll say this. Watching live, we're going to put all of your questions at the end after me and Sai have lots of time to talk. Then we're going to answer your guys' questions. But I am going to prioritize questions from Christians today because my goal is, we're asking, is it biblical? And while we have plenty of atheists I know who will be joining us today and skeptics, we will try to get to your questions after we answer the Christians ones. That's just the way we're going to do it for today. I think it's the wise thing to do, since the question is about the theology. So, so go ahead. Anytime during our talk, you can load your
The
question.
guy with the glasses right there, that's Mike Ringer. Do you think his middle name is right or left?
I don't know, but I like his glasses because they look just like mine.
Oh, you have glasses too?
Yeah, I don't wear them a lot. I don't need them that much, but yeah.
Do you need them just
I'm wearing them now.
read books?
No, it's more for like driving.
Oh, but you're Mark. You don't need glasses. You're Mark.
Well, I hardly ever wear them.
What do you think
I don't
of
need them too bad.
Silk Kittle?
I have to wear glasses all the time.
Oh.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Do you ever
Make
wear
you look smart.
Yeah, why is I always wonder, why does glasses make you look smart?
I don't know, but everywhere I walk, Stuart and Grace are following me.
Yeah, they stalk you.
They do, both of them, a dog and a cat.
When you're wearing glasses?
No, just anytime. Whenever I move, they're right at my feet.
But what if Lupin wear glasses? Would he look smart?
He wore those sunglasses with his Mujahideen outfit, didn't
he? Yeah.
He didn't look too smart there.
He's a funny guy. What do you think of that, Scott Kettle?
There are better outfits.
What if he decided to dress up as you?
Good luck with that.
We'll dress up as Mark. Well, what do you think, Scott Kettle?
Well, first of all, he would have to know what clothes we wear, and so on.
What if he made you ever seen this one Outer Limits? They made a mask to put on the guy. He looks just like the guy. What if he did that?
I don't know.
What do you think, Mark?
Where'd all our viewers go? We had 9 people watching. Now it's 3, and I know one of them is me.
I don't know.
Now there's only 2.
Are we boring?
I guess so.
I'm sorry.
It was probably my rambling because my brain's misfiring today.
What do you think of this guy? He looks like a funny type of guy, Mike Ringer. Ask him, is he a right ringer or left ringer?
Probably.
Look at him. He's Mike Right Ringer. What do you think of that, Sylph Kittle?
He could be a mid-winger.
Oh no.
Oh. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, he's going to talk to Side 10. I never heard of that name before, Side 10. What about the other Side 10? Well, Font 10, or what do you think?
Side 12 would be a way cooler name. I don't know why. It just sounds better.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Scott Kettle?
Side 9.
Side 9 has a kind of an ominous tone to it. Sounds like something deadly, like cyanide.
Then, you should have that, Silk Kettle, because you are very deadly with your bare hands.
Oh yeah.
Like Mark. Right, Mark?
I'm a peaceful person.
Yeah, peaceful man. Very peaceful. Just like Handi Gandhi. Are you like Handi Gandhi?
I don't know who that is.
That's like some Buddha Hindu priest guy. Handi Gandhi.
Ah.
Well, you could be like that guy, what is his name? Oh, I forgot his name. another Hindu guy. Do you Hindu or do you Hindon?
I don't.
Oh, okay, good. But you said that. Oh, okay, Mark, I have something. I saw something up. What if we? You want to talk about when you believe about Jesus' return?
He already did.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he destroyed the devil,
Yeah.
but he's on here as Harry Clinton.
Well,
I'm joking. uh, you destroyed him, fold him into the lake of fire.
Yep.
What about Hack? Did he throw that into the lake of fire?
Yep.
Did he throw Bill Clinton into the lake of fire?
Bill Clinton's still alive.
Oh. What about what if did he throw all the false god?
Well, look. Let me put it this way. Do you see demons? Does Satan actually? I'm sorry. There's an airplane flying overhead. Do you see like actual demons?
Joe Biden?
No, I mean like for real. Like what
Oh.
they saw in the Bible. You know, people that were actually possessed by demons. Do you
Joe
see
Biden?
that today? No.
No.
No, he's not possessed by demons. I'm sorry.
I always hear people talk about exorcisms of Emery Rose. You ever heard of those?
I've heard of them, but they're not real. I mean, you're dealing with people with severe mental illness. They don't need exercise. They need mental health and medication, most likely.
Well, everyone needs exercise.
No, exorcism is not the same as exercising.
What if they have an
Exercise
exorcism with exercise with extra food?
Hmm.
And then they exit it. The exodus. Sorry, I'm not oriented.
But I also don't believe that people receive like divine revelation or, words from the Lord the way they talk about in a lot of these churches either.
Why that?
Actually, well, because in Hebrews 1:11 or chapter 1 verse 1 it says God who at sundry times spoke to the fathers by the prophets has in these last days spoken through his son Jesus Christ. And those were the last days. And it doesn't talk about, going to speak to us in any other way after that. As a matter of fact, Revelation was ended with, don't change the words of this book. And sure, that was speaking to the book, but that was the end. That was the end of the prophecies.
Yeah, I agree. Jesus lost the last of the link of the law.
We have everything we need to know all we need to know about God in the scripture.
Yeah.
He's not going to come back and tell us more or do more or anything like that. I'm sorry. It's just not the way the Bible's written.
Yeah, he's
People
not.
want to interpret it in a modern lens and do their newspaper eschatology. But sorry, this book was written thousands of years ago.
Yeah. Like
Bible,
Mormons from Planet Mormia.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Yeah.
They're just wrong. Go watch that other guy that you were playing earlier. The one I showed you.
Yeah,
he talked to Mormons.
Yeah, I showed that.
Jeff Durbin does some good stuff with Mormons and Jehovah's Witness too.
Yeah, I see that too. Him and that other guy talked about. I think even you ever heard of David Wood?
No, I don't think so.
That guy's good. He mainly goes after Islam.
Yeah.
That guy rips Islam apart and stuff. He talks about Muhammad stuff, all that stuff.
Well, all you have to do is take a close look at what the Quran says, and it does say that Jesus was true. The only thing it denies about Jesus is his divinity. Everything that he said, the Quran confirms. And the contradiction there for Islam is that Jesus said he was God. He said, "I am that I am."
Yeah, Islam says the Bible's true and cannot be corrupted. And
Right.
Muhammad said to people to judge him by the book, the Bible. Yep. Yeah, what do you think of that?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and judge him and Say he was a deplorable person. He was a pedophile and a murderer.
Yeah. And he also he ran on what else he did? He also fight on a camel. And he split the moon in two.
Sure he did.
I think that's just code word for he mooned someone. Yeah. What do you think of that stuff, Kettle? What if he tried to moon you?
Oh no.
No
Horrible.
Stuff, Kettle.
Horrible, horrible, horrible.
Yeah. This guy David Woodward exposes Muhammad as a crazy guy. Muhammad Ali.
Allah.
Yeah. Who will win a fight between Muhammad versus Muhammad Ali in a cage match? And the referee is Joseph Smith. Who will win?
That's a tricky one.
I think Mark would beat both of them with one arm tied behind his back.
Muhammad Ali in his prime.
You break it up there, Mark. Are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, my headset cut out. I had to go get my dog. She's
Oh.
running around outside.
Great old dog. That's a dog. Oh, who's here? The Clodster.
Hello. Hello.
The Cludster and the Fraudster.
Oh, Claude. Yeah, I saw that last night. I wasn't sure what he was talking about. He asked me to come on his show. Come on that show with him.
Which one was that?
Dan.
Yes.
Only thing I heard happened with Dawkins that he asked a lady to get him a coffee, and people got mad at it. But when he said that he asked a lady to come to his room, that I never heard of that.
No. The true story is that this particular woman who was at the atheist conference was going back to her room, and some man in the elevator asked her, would she like a coffee in his room? She said no, and that was the end of the matter. But she talked about it later. Dawkins, a few weeks later or sometime later, I don't know the exact time, commented because, she said it was a terrible experience, and that's fine. That's what she thought. The guy didn't touch her, but he did ask her to her room. His room, rather. Dawkins said that wasn't as bad as the experiences of Islam women, with various mutilation and various other things. That's all he said. And so she got out of sorts with that. She didn't. But he did not. He was not the person that invited her. Dan has once again wrong, which he is. I did have some hope for Dan, and I hoped that he might be able to see reason. But I find it very disappointing that he would tell lies about a man who is a great biologist and would run rings around him in any form of scientific understanding or achievement. So I'm very sorry that Dan did that. I thought
that's all right. We forgive you.
What I found interesting about what Dan was saying, or it might have been Steven, was that he doesn't have any peer-reviewed research, and that's a blatant
rubbish,
lie.
yeah.
That's the blatant lie. It just takes a quick Google search to find that he does, in fact, have many published peer-reviewed articles.
Yeah, and I really don't care that these guys, that they can believe evolution or not or whatever. They don't need to tell lies.
Yeah.
And I find that insulting Charles Darwin is just a very weak and infantile thing to do. It doesn't stack up either. The claims they make are ludicrous. So that's where I get upset about this. If they want to live their lives not accepting evolution, well, that's okay. That's their business. But it's when they manipulate and, tell straight out lies. It's just ridiculous, I got a bit grumpy about that.
That was crazy. What do you think of that stuff, kiddo?
Yeah, typical for them.
Ooh,
Typical.
Claude,
Yes.
would you like me to ask Dan on here where you can
Yes,
talk?
yes, that would be good. Yeah, because we were going to talk, but because I did it, it was quite late at night American time. Oh, not too bad for him. He's on the other coast, isn't he? So yeah.
I'm not sure.
I got an interesting message from Dan yesterday morning, and I haven't responded to him yet because I've been not deathly ill, but pretty dang sick.
Yeah.
He said, "I enjoy your commentaries that's alphabetical and can't wait till I have time and mental focus to dig into more of your doctrine. God's best." I,
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know. Maybe my brain's not functioning enough to understand that dribble, but I didn't understand what he was saying. What's
No,
what's
that was sort
alphabetical?
of the other. Yeah, I think he might have got maybe a word his spell check, or a predictive text. So that might be the problem. But in other cases, I went through some things he said on that other show, the Proverbs Guy show, and it didn't make sense. It was bizarre. But I don't mind Dan. I quite like him in some ways, and I had some hope, but it has been dashed.
Well, that's kind of the same with all these Proverbs guys types, and the praise I am types. Like, there's hope for them. Like, they have personality and character, but then they just have these unbearable traits of lying and representing, and then just bashing people for no justified reason. It's
Yeah.
palatable.
And the real reason, of course, that and he pointed out that some atheists don't like Dawkins. Well, it might come to a revelation to him that not everybody likes everybody else, even if they're on the same side. And there are some people don't like Dawkins that are atheists. Well, there are some Christians who don't like other Christians. It's just the way it
There's
is.
some Christians that don't like Kent Hovind. Can you believe that?
No, oh my goodness. So, that is just a normal part. Now, the reason why many don't like, well, not many, but some don't like Dawkins, is that he is quite not woke, So he says it how he sees it, and he'll criticize Christian, but he'll also criticize Muslim. And some people that he's regarded as Islamophobic or something like that. So, there's the other reason is he's quite aggressive, and some people prefer a softer approach. So there's all these things going on. That's the truth of it. But oh my goodness, to make that allegation up was just terrible.
Is he also Christianophobic?
He needs to contact Dawkins and apologize.
Yeah. He's like soft kiddo.
What?
See?
Sorry, I'm watching TV at the same time.
Oh, what you watching?
QI.
Oh, that's nice. What about you, Mark? What are you watching?
The Ghosttv Radio Tuesday, April 16th show.
Oh, okay. Is it better than Ghost is King TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, Claude, the other day, it doesn't make any sense. Lupin put on, when he responded to the trolls, he put hashtag Ghost is King TV. Where he got that from?
I don't know. What time is it there in New York Standard Time?
New York? I don't know, but Eastern Standard Time, it's 3:25.
Yes, I thought so. Yeah, it's exactly 12-hour difference. It's early in the morning where I am, so that's fine.
What about you, Mark?
For me and Big Bad Mama, it's 12:25 p.m.
What about Scott Kettle?
It's 9:25 p.m.
Oh. What about for Claude?
3:25 in the morning.
Oh, you're up early. You're up very early.
That's why I have missed a number of shows, and sometimes I can't sleep, and then I say, "Oh, there's a show on," you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, Lupin, he's funny. I saw that poor guy had a bad sunburn, and the other time he dressed up like a hen. What's it called? Something freedom fighter.
Yeah.
He was so funny. I can show you. He just looks so funny. He's a funny little guy. Look.
No, Gangster is having one of his laughing attacks.
Giggle fit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He's a funny little guy. But always make sure to do this.
Behave
Our
yourself.
Chuck says behave yourself. You know that?
Where's Father Charles? He said he was coming on. He never came.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird, Chuck. Very weird.
He could be having a nap, maybe an afternoon nap.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Oh. But Claude.
Yeah.
It was weird. Dan asked me to come on there the other day. It was weird.
Oh, really? Ah. On the Proverbs guide, the lion's den. Rawr.
That was so funny. God, you're funny.
In fact, it's more like meow.
Yep.
That was funny. Yeah, and Achilles on there. He liked my thumbnail I got from Jason, buddy of Father Charles, of a T-Rex in the sky telling a chicken, "Remember who you are."
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah.
It was just funny and great. But God, do you think the other day where Mark got in a debate with Power Word from the P Town?
Yeah. Well, I can't. Yeah, I get very confused between P Town, Power Word, and who's that other one? Does it begin with P? The bubble. Bubblegum. Yeah, B, not P. Bubblegum. Are they all same or similar or what? Am I wrong? I don't know. Yeah.
They're different. But Power Word sounds kind of like bubblegum.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. And what you the last time you talked to bubblegum, what were you sick of that guy?
A pain, a PITA, a pita, a pain in the ass. Yeah. Yeah.
I had an orange cat named PETA when I was young, and he was very much a pain in the ass.
Just arguing over every silly definition, tried to put words in your mouth, tried to be so clever, but not. So that's what I thought.
Yeah, he believes in all the gods, and the main god is what's it called? The main god he believes is called. What was it called, Mark?
I don't remember.
Chaos. That's it. And he believes all the gods, like Zeus, the Hindu gods.
Well.
Is that crazy? And he believes in gnomes that steal your socks.
Gnomes that steal, well, probably if you put a camera on your socks, you'll find it's a cat comes in and steals them.
Yeah, my cat takes socks and leave them at the door and start crying.
Oh.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But, Claude, how you been? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed doing my little show I was looking at the first part of the Proverbs Guy's Lion's Den because it was so ludicrous, I just thought, oh my goodness, what have I struck? And when Stephen started going off about Darwin and they both had to go at Dawkins. And I began to think they're not living in the real world.
It was crazy. Dan wanted me to. He asked me. He messaged me to come on there.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what they're doing with him. Yeah, he was. That when he said that, it was weird. I never heard them say that about Dawkins before, but it was crazy.
I don't know where he plucked that from, but it just shows you can't take any notice of or trust anything they say. But never mind. It could be ripped apart by any group at any university. Maybe even kids at the junior school would see the error of the stuff that was being said. But never mind.
Hey,
As I
fellas.
say-
Yeah.
I gotta hop off of here.
Okay.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm
don't
okay.
eat anything. Don't
No
eat
soup.
anything. let your you want your stomach to clear out. And
Yes.
don't take things to stop having a poop because you need to get rid of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I hope you're all right,
All
Mark.
right. Yep. I'll talk to you guys later.
Hope
Okay.
Good day.
you feel
Bye.
better.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you for coming
Bye-bye.
on.
Yeah.
I'm
Failing
gonna
that-
tap out as well. It's getting close to my bedtime. Half an hour left, so
Oh, thank you for
Okay.
coming on.
Bye
gonna
bye.
get gonna get
Bye.
ready for bed.
Yeah.
You going night night with your teddy bear?
Of course, every day.
Oh,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
hi, buddies. Claude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see you talk to Dan, and you could talk about.
Yeah. I don't mind talking to him because that's what I was hoping. But because it's hard to always organize a time when it suits both people. Maybe last night was too late,
Yeah, I messaged him and nothing back.
He could be working, of course.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But yeah, that was crazy. They also talked about intelligent design last night and stuff. And
Well, yes. Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. What do you think of that? And what do you think of that other thing where they Achilles said he did it, said the world's going to end or something? That's what he said.
He said that it was going to or wasn't going to. What was it? I can't remember.
In his after the 11 Commandments show, he said he did say the world was going to end.
Oh well.
What do you think of that?
Who would know? I don't know what he thinks really. And you know what? It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, I get my science from scientists, not from someone with a telescope who thinks the world is flat.
What about, do you get your science from Bill Gates?
Well, if it came to computing, I think he would be a good person to he's been extremely successful in the world of computing. But of course, I'm never going to go and ask him for advice about that.
What about Bill Big Bad Mama?
Yes, very good, because Big Bad Mama has been a geologist. So Big Bad Mama understands the geological column, which of course Kent denies exists, but just yelling that it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, that doesn't make it not exist.
Yeah.
So no, Big Bad Mama is very good, and of course, being a scientist, has a general understanding of other fields of science as well. But Big Bad Mama's expertise is in geology, from what I understand. So that's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. How lucky we are to have Big Bad Mama, to explain things to us and speak rationally.
Yeah. Have you ever talked to Robert Beatty?
No, I haven't. No.
I think he's the one in charge of that Ken Hovel's worst nightmare.
Yes, I believe he is. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you like, if you met him, what would you like to ask him?
Well, already I have read, much of the stuff, so there's really nothing more I need to ask him. I would be interested to know more about, the son of Baker, Chris Baker, the finance guy at DAL. His son went on there just in the last few days. It would be good to talk to him, just find out a bit more.
Yeah. Are you on Facebook?
No, but sometimes I have a look at the Facebook of a friend. That's why I never go on, but I do get to see different things, that come across. And so I can have a look at that page occasionally, yes.
One day, would you like me to ask Robert Beatty to come on the show?
Yeah, why not? It would be interesting to ask him questions and things. Some people like Robert, some people don't. He's quite polarizing, but that's fine. He has done a lot of research on the whole tax thing that Kent often lies about. So it's good to hear his position.
Yeah. It was funny. One time, he got into it with Brother Pike.
Right.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But sometimes, people, they can be sort of on the same side, but then they get to argue about the silliest little things, which I'm opposed to. If both Brother Pike and Robert want to show Hovind up, then they should stick to that. Don't fight with each other. But anyway, I would like to have you to have Achilles on the show. That would be good. Get Achilles on sometime.
I did ask him before about coming on, but he says he doesn't. He says he's probably too busy or something.
No, I think he's too chicken. But he wouldn't come on because he, when you hear him on the other show, he's got to be the kingpin. He always interrupting and domineering and threatening to block people and blah 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 blah. If he came on your show, he could not do that. It still would be, he would have plenty to say, and that's fine, but he wouldn't be able to pull the pin if, things suddenly didn't go his way. So he couldn't, control everybody, so he wouldn't like that, I think.
Well, can I show you this video I found on Facebook of Ken Hova?
Yes.
Look, he's blowing you a kiss.
Blowing me a kiss.
He's talking about how amazing the beavers are. They're pretty amazing,
Well, there are so many different types of beavers, but yes.
He likes beavers.
He does. He's known for liking beaver and being an expert in it, apparently.
Yeah. He leads it to beavers.
Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. Come on down and see this place. We have hundreds, maybe even thousands of science lessons that teach a spiritual truth. Beavers, for instance, are amazing.
Look at the beaver.
Wow. That's quite a hairy beaver, the hairy brown beaver by the looks of it. I don't know the technical name.
He's a crazy guy. You talk about beavers.
God created beavers. Anybody who thinks beaver happened by chance needs their head examined. Beavers are stunning. Beavers built a dam to dam up the creek and make their own lake to get their own fish to provide their own food supply. Are you planning ahead for your food supply like a beaver does? Beavers build dams. They don't even go. Are
you, Claude?
Well, I haven't built a dam recently, no, but
I can imagine you out there building a dam.
Yes, no. Yeah. I don't know if Kent gets his own food supply either. I don't think so. I think they go to, what do you call it there? Where do you buy your food? Is it Walmart or is that food? Is that clothes?
Grocery
Who
store?
does? Yeah, who sells the food like supermarket? Who does that?
Grocery stores.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Walmart or
Oh, they
Meijer.
do. All right. Okay. So, from what I understand, that's where he gets the groceries. I don't think he builds his own dam and gets his own food from it, as far as I know. Anyway,
You can imagine him doing that.
he's not a very good beaver then,
I can imagine.
Go to school at all. Nobody teaches them from kindergarten. And yet they know how to make a dam out of mud and sticks that'll last 100 years. I think beavers are amazing. They also sometimes build a lodge out in the middle of the lake. I'll show you one of those in a minute. Beavers never stop growing. Their teeth are orange because of the iron in their diet. It makes their teeth like iron.
Did you know he said that he has his own app now?
Yes, I don't understand how that works. Do you have to download the app on the store?
Yeah, you have a smart TV. I guess you could download it on there or on your phone.
Like on your phone? On your phone?
Yeah, he had all kinds of shows on there from old time shows. I think back in the day when Mark was still there.
Oh, I can't wait. But the other day, he was saying things like, he's got these satellite dishes, and you can talk. You whisper, and of course, the air column is refocused, and you can hear it a long way away. And he said the spiritual application was God hears everything. But I just don't know how they're two related. That was just something he dreamed up, I think. But, that all sort of thing is fun. And I see they got this new swinging thing that you have an air blower. Have you seen that one? They're like on a swing at Dinosaur Adventureland. And they get one of those air blower things they hold it when they're on the swing and go round and round with a bit like a jet engine. Yeah.
Oh, I found a link to Roku. You could get his channel on there.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah.
Kent Hovel's Creation Scientist.
Yes. Yeah. But they really need to add a couple of things to that. Maker of paper airplanes and shooter of rubber bands. He probably has a doctorate in those, as far as I can see.
What if he had a YouTube channel called Airplane Shooters? Paper airplane shooters.
Yeah, well, that would be that. And I wouldn't have a problem with that. That's his skill. He's very skilled at doing that,
That's funny. Yeah. He's a funny guy.
Well, that's one way of putting it.
Look at Ken.
Have you been to Dino Land yourself?
No.
Do you want to go? Is it an ambition for your life?
No, I don't have any money to go there.
No, but you don't need to just go there anyway and put you to work. you get I think a couple of days for free.
I don't know.
Maybe it could be Gangster Ghost Visit to DAL, sponsored by Creationist Crybaby.
Wow. What if you go there? Would you ever like to go there?
I wouldn't mind. No, I would quite like to visit one day. Yes, but I don't think I'd be welcome very much. But
sorry about that. Look at Kent. He looks half drunk.
Front of the tooth is hard enamel. The back is soft. Every time they chew, it sharpens their teeth and shortens them. Beavers' teeth never stop growing. God designed the beaver. Why can't people give God the glory for his creation? The beaver's amazing. You ought to look at the beaver and say, wow, God, you're amazing. But the atheists look at the beaver and say, oh, it took millions of years and came from...
Do you know anyone who look like that guy?
Sorry, do I want to?
Do you know anyone who looks like this atheist guy, Kent Sean?
I don't know. Who is it?
I don't know, some guy.
Oh.
From an amoeba. Wow! You guys really need your head examined. I think God ought to get the glory for the beaver. Let's go look at one. This is about how big beavers get today with their flat tail. They can use that as a rudder to swim. They can use it to smack the water and warn people danger's coming. Beavers are, the biggest beaver. They never stop growing, but the biggest one's about 2.5 feet. They find fossils of them 8 feet long. Something was different before the flood came. And the two different kinds of beavers in the world today might have had a common ancestor called a beaver. That's not evolution.
Is that true?
What a bit about the what that they
Beavers have common ancestors with other beavers, and then it's a beaver.
well, of course they do, but they have also common ancestry with other animals as well. They've descended from a variety of different animals. Yeah. So, but that's not the only thing they have a common ancestry with. The other beavers, they, that's Kent is being sort of typical. But, why doesn't he build a statue to a big beaver? He could have the world's biggest beaver built in his backyard. That would attract the tourists, and everybody would go, "Oh my goodness, there's a big beaver that proves God is real."
I remember this cartoon as a kid called Angry Beavers.
Oh, okay.
Reminds me of that.
Isn't there a TV show called Beavers and Butthead?
Well, that Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, not Beavers.
Yeah. Oh, you ever heard of Leave It the Beaver?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, not Leave It Beavis, but Beaver. That's an old time TV show back in the 60s. Yeah.
But I tell you what, I think that that Kent loves beavers so much that he could have a show called Beaver Fever. Yeah.
Kent's a funny guy. He's a crazy guy.
That would be a very good name for him to do a show one day called Beaver Fever.
You know, the other time it was a debate he had. He had a wine T-shirt with his face on it.
What kind of teacher?
A wine T-shirt with his face on it.
Oh yes, I saw that one. Yeah, there's his face appeared in a couple of different places on the Hawaiian T-shirt. Yes.
He's a crazy guy.
Yes, well, yeah. That's what you sort of expect of him to do something like that. But
yeah, I heard one debate I seen them re-upload had the mustache guy with a very powerful mustache. Kid didn't know that he wasn't debating the guy; he's debating his mustache.
Oh, really?
These three professors he debated.
Oh.
It was one of the first videos I saw. Actually, it's the first video I saw of Kent as a kid in 2007.
Well, yeah, because Kent doesn't like mustache, does he, or beard? He likes the man to be clean shaven.
I know he doesn't like long hair.
Yeah.
And other thing is, they cut a part out from in the beginning. Because I remember in the beginning they had Eric Hova outside the garden who introduced the debate.
Yeah.
They cut that part out.
Well, that's because Kent and Eric don't get on anymore. So
yeah. He used to introduce his seminars and debates back in the day. Is that crazy?
Well, they've fallen out, over money and various other things. And
yeah, he stole his underwear.
Eric's and the pocket knife, Swiss Army knife, and Eric supports his mother, whereas Kent, obviously, they're divorced. So, Yeah. Eric thinks his mother was right and Kent did wrong, so that's why.
Yeah, it's crazy back in the day. Uh, even at first Steve Anderson was on his side, but when he got when he divorced again, and got a different wife, that's when Steve Anderson turned on him.
Yes, and then they've been. It was quite funny the other day when they were having that debate or discussion. I forget what the topic was, but Stephen Anderson looked very stone-faced. You know, he looked very stern, and then attacked Kent and disagreed with him all the way through. And it was quite a shock. I think Kent was quite shocked.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was the debate really about. Was it about is the proof that the Earth is young? Steve?
I could have been. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember, but it was entertaining.
Yeah.
That's all I care. You know, I often listen to these things for entertainment, not to take them seriously. But it got very upset when Pastor Anderson called him out. We have to distinguish, of course, because there's another man, Mr. Anderson, who I quite like. Mr. Anderson is a lawyer, and he has Kent on the ropes many times.
Yeah, he was on earlier. He talked about his debate he had with this one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He debated Kent a couple times.
Yes.
Here's this one lawyer who debated Kent that kind of looked like Superman or Clark Kent.
Oh.
Is that weird?
Were you on my show the other day when Korsky came on? That's the guy called the Fluffy Atheist.
Oh, no, I wasn't on there. I was sleeping.
He's an interesting guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you like to see him debate Kent in a debate?
Yes, I would. Unlike some people say don't debate him because, but the condition I would say would be that he can't have standing for truth as his moderator, because standing for truth just acts as on Kent's side all the time. You know, it's proven. You just see it all the time. So I would like to see it on your channel or Father Charles' channel. And either way, Father Charles could be the moderator. That would keep it fair. But Donnie, or whatever his name is not fair. He is in there on the side of Hovind all the time. And his moderators do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable.
Kent knows Father Charles as a fat Catholic.
Yes, that was funny.
He doesn't understand that he's not Catholic. He's not.
Kent is very slow. You know, he takes a long time to learn. And Kent's idea of learning, and you can tell that from its various things, is remembering things, being able to recite Bible verses or, pages from it. That's not learning. That's just learning to regurgitate. So that's Kent's unfortunate flawed education.
Yeah, Brother Pike actually met him before, and when he debated him, Kent Hovind didn't remember him.
But look, as getting older, I don't criticize him for forgetting people, so much. But his education is not real education. You don't just learn to read something from memory and say, "Oh, I understand." Doesn't mean you understand it. You just regurgitate. So that's where I have a difference of opinion. But if Kent forgets people or whatever, well, that's part of the aging process. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. That one debate he had was also another one he had was pretty good. He had with that Kenneth guy, I think. What's that guy named Kenneth?
Canada guy.
Kenneth.
Kenneth. Oh, didn't know. Kent had one with Aiden, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was good, I think. Yeah.
Though this time we definitely have the video of it.
Okay.
It was crazy. Ken Hova had Mark had a watch party of it, and there's one guy called Angry Grandpa actually came on there and tried to porn bomb him.
Oh no!
It was sick.
Well, the only one I know who's done that porn bombing is that Brett Keane.
Yeah.
I saw him do that on the channel of Mrs. Parker.
Yeah. He also did it to Skylar.
Yeah, so he's a very disgusting person. Who's someone who claims to be a Christian.
Yeah, Mark called. It was some while ago. He tried to call Brett Keane out for that because this one guy was calling out for that first. Brett Keane said he doesn't care, but Mark called him out for not caring. Yeah, it's crazy.
Not a good person, but never mind. There's only one or two perfect people in the world, and that's you and me. And sometimes I wonder about you.
You're funny.
That's quite a good saying, isn't it? Only two perfect people in the world, you and me. And sometimes I have my doubts about you.
That guy.
That sounds like Kent.
Yeah. That guy, Wesley. He's a character type. He's the one called. He said that Mark says, "Your name is Allah."
Yes, I thought that was a crazy day. All that was happening. But he was very interesting, and his music ability is extremely good. The opposite to Ken.
He's a funny guy. Wesley, he's crazy, but he definitely needs help type guy. But he's a lovable character.
He's probably quite happy. So
He said he saw the vision. Have you saw the vision?
No, only the television.
Oh. Yeah, he's a crazy guy. What would you do if you actually met Ken in person?
Oh, hello. I'd say hello, Mr. Herman. And he'd say, he might say, Dr. Herman. I said, no, Mr. Herman.
Would you ask him for his autograph?
No. No. No, I wouldn't. He's not one of the people I would ask for an autograph. No.
Yeah, Ken Hova. Yeah, it was a bit crazy. What happened? His debate with Anderson. That was a crazy debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so his debate with Aiden was pretty good, but the funny thing about it, before he left, he says, "Aiden, one day you're going to die, so am I." And then Aiden said, and then he left. He left. Is that crazy?
Well, we're all gonna die someday.
Sundays?
Someday. I don't think it's gonna be Sunday, but you never know.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy. And have you ever met that guy named Peter Tucker?
No, I haven't. No.
He has 2 girlfriends.
Oh. One's too many as far as I'm concerned. Trouble. Trouble.
Guess who's here?
Oh, who's here?
Big Bad Mama.
Hey.
Hi, Big Bad Mama.
Hi. I heard what you guys were talking about, And I do have Kent Hovind's autograph.
You do?
Wow.
And it's on my certificate that I completed the real tour.
Wow.
So I need to find that, and I'll show you guys
Do you
because it's
sell
kind of
for
funny.
millions of dollars?
I'm going to hang on to it. Yeah, it could be worth something.
I found a video of him talking about beavers.
I have one on my channel where he talks about giant beavers, 8-foot beavers.
I think that might be it. He said that beavers never stop growing.
He always says that when he wants to explain how these animals became large size, instead of them being a separate species that is a large species of beaver. Kent says they're just normal beavers, or they're just normal lizards that turned into dinosaurs because reptiles never stop growing. And it's like you see a lizard walking, and it does not walk like like dinosaurs walked.
Wow.
I mean, I find it quite humorous, actually, when he's going on. Whenever I see a beaver, I'm reminded of God or whatever. Especially the giant beaver, I quite like those. Then he talks about the different species of beaver. I don't know if don't remember what they are. Perhaps there's the hairy beaver and the smooth beaver, all these kinds of beavers. It's a wonder he isn't going to build the big beaver, the biggest one
Well,
in the world.
that was the thing, is there were several shows, and I think I have them in that video that I made, where he wanted somebody to come to DAL to carve these giant, especially the giant beaver, but other like giant animals, I guess giant mammals. But again, nothing, ever came of it.
He has his own app on his own channel on Roku.
I heard that, yeah.
Ken Hove, a creationist, a creation scientist.
If it's free, I'll try to check it out sometime. But you know what? I think it's probably just his stream from YouTube that's shown in a different, on a different stream, right?
I'm not sure. I think it might have all his old videos too.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got the link to it. I put it in the private chat.
Could you email me the link?
Yeah, email us the link, please, Logan.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's it. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I saw your new videos, Big Bad Mother. I enjoyed them. I think I made
I'd never heard that story before of him having this club, in his church, and it just sounded so putting these poor kids on the spot, to memorize these verses, or you don't get your name on the wooden Bible or whatever it was. It was strange.
Well, actually, it isn't too big a job for kids at that age to memorize things. What do you call that where you learn that, like 6 times 6 is 36?
Your multiple, your
table. Yeah, right.
multiplication tables, right?
Right, yeah. So kids, if they learn them young, they learn them, they remember them for life. So you can remember Bible verses. It doesn't mean you understand anything. It just means you can recite things. And that's the problem with Kent in education. Because he hasn't done any real research, or he's not a real teacher, he doesn't know what real learning is. He thinks it's just remembering stuff.
Right. It's just memorization, and that's why he always repeats about the bone. Sciences or biology is, knowing what the humerus bone is, or the femur, and that's where science is. I have nothing against science, but hi, Mark.
I love
stuff.
Yeah, I was going to add, Kent claims, he can read the Bible in 70 hours. Yeah, that's great. If you can read fast and get through the words that quickly, good for you. But what did you learn? And apparently, by his doctrine and teachings, not very much, if anything at all.
Oh, we watched a video of him talking about beavers on Facebook.
Big Bad Mama.
Uh-huh.
What did you heard the thing of poor old Dan just making up a story about Dawkins? That was awful.
I saw that.
And when you go back and you look, the real story is totally different to what he claims. He's just unbelievable. I'm very disappointed.
Gosh.
He's a naughty boy.
I should clip that too and post it, because
Yes,
that is
please.
just horrible to smear a scientist who has a good reputation as a person. And I mean, in general, there's things I disagree with Richard Dawkins about, but I just think he was he's been a revolutionary person in our global culture.
And that is a blatant lie. That's the story, the truth. I was just saying what happened was that yes, this woman who was at the atheist conference, someone did ask her in the elevator to go to his room. She declined. That was the end of the matter. There was no groping or anything else. Then a few weeks later, because she expressed that it wasn't very good and how she said it was awful and blah blah blah. That's fine. That was what she felt. He said, well, it wasn't as anything like what many Muslim women have to go through with mutilation and various other things. That's what he said. Well, she took exception to this, and of course then criticized him. So that's what it was. It was nothing to do with. But if you listen to Dan, it was him in the elevator. It was him who did that. He didn't at all.
Which is a horrible distortion of the
Horrible
story. You're going from a non-issue to, he was just stating his opinion on whatever. To go from that to basically a crime, right? Or
yeah.
Well, it actually even I don't know. I have to listen again what he says, what happened, but it's still a defamation to say that it was Dawkins who did that. He did not.
They never want to address the science of, Hovendites, I would say, in general. They never want to address any of the science of Richard Dawkins, but they just want to, or even Darwin, they'll say, oh, he was just the captain's lackey, who served him tea. I've heard that a couple of times, but anyway.
Called him a
Stephen was on about that. Stephen was
right.
James,
Big Bad Mama. Ken Hovind called Charles Don a loser who couldn't get a
job. Well, I think there's a lot of projection there. The other thing I put up recently was a thing where Hovind said he had the easiest job in the world. Well, we've all known that for years. His job, all his claims to work 80 hours is rubbish. He's now told the truth.
Well, grifting isn't really a job, though, is it?
He sure made a lucrative living out of it, though.
Yeah, it's a con.
It's not a. I mean, what Stephen said when he was honest after he left Yale in his conversation with Cindy was that Hovind was one of the laziest people on the compound. And of course, later on, he completely reverses that and says, yes, you work very hard, Doc. But maybe Mark can shed some more light on that. Was Kent a hard worker?
Every time Kent tries to work, he gets hurt. Like he shows off. He'll go do something ridiculous that looks sketchy as hell and end up hurting himself, and then he won't work for like a week.
Is his back really bad, or
no? His back isn't that bad, I don't think. I mean, he talks like it is, but he'll go and like pick up heavy stuff and drive all crazy on his side by side.
Right.
And like he does work, but he does it like to show off. Like if somebody's doing a job, he'll come in all flustered, like, I used to build cabinets for 40 years. Well, we got to do this, this, and that, and this and that. And then he'll throw together like a, a ramp, like for stairs or whatever. And that's a pretty easy carpentry job. But he would do it just to show everybody that he could do it. And then he'd go disappear for the rest of the day.
I mean, those real tours, I would consider that work though, because he does, it is work to drive, and like he does have to concentrate as much as he can because those roads are crazy. And then he stops and gives these, his script and stuff, but that's still a duty that he's doing, I guess, that's bringing in money, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a grift, and he's got his whole little spiel online, and you see all that, and then at DAL, he's got to keep the workers working. He's got to keep, well, he doesn't have to keep the guests coming, they just come. But they do donate a lot of money. I mean, I've seen somebody hand him $10,000. It's just like,
Wow.
wow, yeah. But it's all a stage. Like DAL is nothing but a giant, it's a front. It's an act.
Well,
It's a front
Mark,
for his scam, which is really easy to get Christians to donate when they think you're right.
oh, Mark, I put a link to that channel I found of Ken's on Roku.
Oh, okay.
Because you want to look into it. I sent
I
it.
do want to look into that.
Yeah.
And I'm not like trying to disparage people that donate, to DAL or to any ministry or any charity for that matter. But look into it first, I mean, there's a lot of con men out there. There's a lot of charlatans, and Kent just happens to be one of them. They put a lot of work into it. I mean, look at Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah.
Look at all these other big name preachers. That's just,
Joel.
and then, yeah. I mean, he wouldn't even open up his mega church for like the hurricane victims. He's like, nope, can't stay here. Like, where's the love your neighbor in that?
Yeah.
It's infuriating that these people that have the ability to help so much only use their skills and charisma to enrich themselves.
I mean,
he does have his followers that just spend that money in blindly.
I mean, Kent, when you listen to Kent on his shows, he'll talk about like, oh, we don't have any money, we're running on a tight budget, but then he spends $1 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, he built an impressive compound there, I have to say, and you know that, Mark. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe some of the buildings aren't to code or what have you, but
none of them are.
they're recognizably cabins and buildings. They're
He's
not
definitely put something there.
they're not tiny little structures. I mean, they're places where people stay, and it's got the lakes, and it's got these trails, and he's built himself a niche there that is pretty unique compared with any other televangelist,
Yeah.
I would say.
I mean, you don't have to sell me on it. I lived there for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I built a lot
I'm
of
not,
what
believe me, I'm not selling you on it. That's just the
But-
exterior I'm talking about. I'm not talking about.
It is an exterior though. It's like a stage. It really is. It's all props. I mean, it's real stuff, but it's not what it seems
Well, it's
on a deeper level,
right. It's all just a superficial facade for his two main messages of the rapture and his pseudoscience that he, passes along. And I think those are his two main messages to his ministry. I don't know of any that maybe you of course would know better, but I think those are the main two themes that I hear throughout his daily.
Yeah, well, he's got 2 DVD series, his big ones, that are, the Creation Seminar series and his What on Earth is About to Happen series. And he's got a lot of other ones, but none of them are like, 12 DVD long. They're like something about how to spend money God's way, or how to earn money and spend it God's way. They're like little short things.
Or anti-Mormon video or something.
Yeah, but then he sells these entire DVD sets with 20 hours of material on this one topic, even though they're both very similar. Because I know he talks about the same stuff in both seminars.
Oh,
Really.
in both the woe. I mean, there's the evolution series that he did, right, of DVDs. But then didn't he do one woe on the earth or whatever?
Yeah, yeah, that's what on earth is about to happen.
And that's about the rapture,
WOE.
right?
Yeah.
Mark, are you still going to do a response to that?
I've gotten through like 2 sections of it, trimming down all the irrelevant stuff. It's like 17 hours worth of video, and I'm working on it slowly, but
That's a project.
You know,
it is.
the thing that annoys me about DAL is that when Kent talks about it, he talks about the volunteers as costs. Oh, I have to feed them. Oh, I have to pay their electricity. I have to pay for their showers and where they stay. He never counts the free labor he gets in return. And to me, that's wrong, you know?
Yeah, he talks about them like they're just leeches on the CSE ministry.
Which they're not. They're the ones that, that's how he gets it built. It costs him far less to do that than to hire people paid at a proper rate. He did,
right.
You know?
They're making the property improvements, right? I mean, they're the ones that are building the property improvements that are adding value to his property value.
Yeah.
And one of Kent's complaints about me when I left was, "Hey, we fed him and housed him for 2 years and his daughter, and I just don't understand, brother." Well, I mean, yeah, you fed me and housed me, but I also gave you 60 hours a week of free labor.
Yes. And that is worth far more than the feeding and the housing. Far more.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like a boss-employee relationship. But what you had a problem with was not really him as a boss, but it was him just as a person.
Yeah.
Him, and you had to, and you're living in the same, basically office building together. It's just called DAL, but you're around each other all the time.
Well, I could tolerate Kent. I really could. It's not like we weren't friends, but he, like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you weren't here earlier when I was talking about this, but there's some things that people just are unbudgeable on. Like they're totally irrational, unreasonable. And this is going back to what Oren Rod said about it being on a sliding scale. You don't have just totally irrational people and then totally rational people. They're in between. And one of the things that makes Kent totally irrational and unbearable is his insistence on having convicted pedophiles at Dinosaur
Yeah.
Adventureland. Like that
Right.
is you can't change his mind on that, and that is something that I couldn't tolerate either. So it's like, what do? You have to split ways. Like I can't.
Yeah, and that's a personal failing of Hoban's that he's never really addressed adequately. He's never apologized for it, certainly, and it's been brought to his attention multiple times about. And I'm trying to think of who did. Maybe it was you, Mark, but who confronted Kent with the yes, this drove people out of DAL, and you were responsible for that.
He was totally responsible.
Did you talk
maybe,
to?
I'm sure I have said that. Probably not in the exact words, but I mean, yeah. I've been very open and clear about why I left with Kent and with our YouTube audience, our folks here. It's clear. Like, and I've even said it here and now. I could tolerate Kent. DAL's a pretty cool place. If it wasn't for the whole pedophile situation, I probably would still be there. Not gonna lie, but I'm glad that I'm not there anymore because I've certainly been able to get my head out of the cult mindset and explore truth in a more open and critical manner.
But what about the other stuff? I mean, could you have tolerated the way that he was treating Cindy, or
Well, I mean,
taking, the
yeah,
way he used her money and that kind of thing? Wouldn't that have bothered you as well, ultimately?
that is all tied into the reason why I left, because I was on Cindy's side with all that going on, and Kent was basically running anybody off that didn't agree with Cindy. That's why Jeff got run off. That's why I got run off. That's why the Rifes got run off. In addition to the Rifes left because of Chris Jones as well. But anybody that agreed with Cindy, because she was right and Kent was the boss, so he ran us off one by one. And for me, he used Chris Jones.
Mm.
So I was on Cindy's side, and I have been this whole time. And that's probably the bigger reason behind how he run me off. I mean, it wasn't just that; it
I
was also
see.
that
Okay.
Matt Powell was coming, and he was supposed to move into my cabin, and my other cabin hadn't been finished yet. But you've heard all that story too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
it was. I had too many targets on my back, and Kent knew for a fact that if he brought Chris Jones back, that I would leave, and I told him that in no uncertain terms the last time he had visited. So he acts like
interesting.
it's some big surprise that I left, but I mean, he was using Chris Jones to make me leave. I'm certain of that.
It kind of makes sense, and he was using the Matt Powell stuff also to make you leave.
Yeah.
Matt
Well, like I
Powell's
said,
going
I
to
had
show.
multiple targets on my back at that point. But the funny thing is, Matt Powell never moved into the cabin that I was living in when I left. But Kent was pressuring me to move out of that cabin and into the unfinished cabin on the lake in the back. But it wasn't finished. It was open, like open construction. It was like, no way I can move into that yet.
Right.
And the funny part about that is, well, I mean, not really funny, but Matt Powell never lived in that cabin.
No, he lived toward the front, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, they ended up living in an apartment in the top of the science center. They finished out the top floor and turned it into an apartment.
Huh. Okay. So he had a pretty decent place up there.
I don't know how they finished it. I wasn't there when they did that, but Matt Powell didn't move into DAL till a good while after I left.
Right. But I mean, the space was pretty large for him and his family.
I mean, adequate maybe for sleeping. But as far as like a living space, I think they had to shower and everything in the public bathrooms down in the science center. Which they do have showers in those bathrooms. But still, it's a public bathroom, and
Okay.
Oh God! I asked Beatty if he'd like to come on here. You like to ask him a question. He says, he hasn't kept up with Kent lately, but he said you're welcome to what he does know about him from the past.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Maybe we bring him on another show, have a special show, do you think?
Yeah, that'd
be
Gangster Ghost and Beatty, as opposed to now. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd go on that one for sure.
That'd be a cool show to get him back in the mix.
I just have to go. I will still be able to watch, but I just have to leave the live thing. So thank you very much, guys. And
goodbye, Claude.
I
See you, Claude.
will keep watching. Yeah. Bye bye.
Don't leave us.
Oh no.
So how's the weather?
What's that?
I said, how's the weather?
Oh, it's beautiful outside.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm sitting outside right now. It's pretty nice.
Truck driver Billy has can't come on at the moment, but has anyone heard anything about Freddie lately?
Who?
Ooh, Freddie. I heard Freddie moved.
Freddie the cook?
Yeah.
What time would be good for we could have for you guys for Robert Beatty? You say he could come
I
on.
mean, yeah, sure, that'd be fine.
What time would
I'd
be
be
good?
fine right now, but I mean, Claude had to go.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, and let's wait for Claude because I think Claude would really enjoy that.
Yeah. What time would be good? 12 or 3?
Yeah, I mean, if Beatty wants to come on tomorrow, I'll be around tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll be around on Friday, but I won't be around on Thursday.
What would be a good time for you?
Anytime. You just have to let me know as soon as you know.
Would 12
Same here.
be good?
You know, Gangster.
Yeah.
Why don't you build it? Why don't you see what time it is where Claude is, and make sure it's not like 3 a.m. for him. And then try to work it to where it's either morning or evening or night for us. But not, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Morning, evening, or night.
Early night.
I'll email him.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I haven't kept up with Robert's stuff in a while, so I don't know, anything about like that Idaho group or what have you. But I think Claude probably would want to ask questions related to his sentence that he got and what he was accused of and convicted of. But I'm just guessing about that.
Yeah. I wonder would 12 be good for him? Because he says it's 12 hours, and he came on here at 12 hours different.
So you're saying noon, Logan?
Yeah, maybe noon. I asked Robert that.
Okay. What do you think, Mark? Does that sound like a good time?
Yeah. Is it?
Sure.
Yeah, I also asked Claude that too. I sent him an email.
Awesome.
What happened to Freddie lately? He's talked about.
I think Freddie moved. Freddie and his family, I think they moved away. I don't know that, but I've heard it like through the grapevine. I haven't really been paying attention to Kent lately.
Well, I hope Freddie and his family moved.
Yeah.
Logan, I'm probably going to get going pretty soon.
Okay, but thank you for coming on, and don't trust someone named Freddie.
Who?
Freddie.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Brady.
Freddie.
That too.
Yeah, exactly.
Freddie Bait.
Oh, he's the worst. He's the worst of the bunch, isn't he? I mean,
Brady. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the worst of the bunch. I mean, that's saying something because that's a bad bunch.
Well, as far as I know, Brady hasn't reoffended, and Chris Jones has.
Yeah.
The severity of the offense,
Right.
I think, yeah, that kind of trumps frequency, maybe. I don't know if that's a good thing to say.
What time would it be? 1 p.m. Mountain Time.
That would be noon for us.
Okay.
Or for Big Bad Mama and I.
Yeah.
What about for me?
I think that'd be 2 p.m. for you.
2 p.m. for you.
That'd be good.
No, 3 p.m. Right, Mark?
If it's noon for us,
I think it's 3 hours for.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
For Logan.
Yeah, he said 1 p.m. Mountain Time.
Yeah. Okay. So noon for us, right, Mark?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's easy to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Today's Tuesday. That was Wednesday. Okay. You lose track of days when you.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I'm gonna hop off too, so
Well, thank you guys.
I guess it'd be a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
See you, Mark. Good talking to
All
you.
right. Yep. You guys take
Thank you,
care.
Mark.
Bye, Logan. Have a good day.
Love you, Mark.
You too.
Love you guys too.
Bye, Logan.
Bye. Thank you guys for coming on. Bye.
Thank you, my friend. Good stream.
Oh, thank you.
Bye-bye.